Welcome everyone to another day of Blade&Soul Korean Finals. We are at the final day of our semifinals of the tournament. We will be deciding who will be the number 1, 2, and 3 seeds heading into the grand finals. That will be happening 2 weeks' time. My name is Joe Sophie. Along with me is Ending Life, and we got the first day of semifinals underway yesterday. We got to see the winners of those two teams. We're going to see them going up against each other in the winners match, in the losers match as well. How do you feel about those 4 teams so far?
Well, the 4 teams are, they are worth being up here. They're all 4 teams are formidable. They are very well rounded overall compared to the other teams. That's why they made it up here.
Yep.
But today, the first match and the second match, they're both exciting.
Yeah.
Which one do you like better?
I think always the GC Busan derbies are greatest things to see, and I think they're at a point in their stage where GC Busan Red and GC Busan Blue is almost at an equal power level, kind of unexpected of what we kind of expected of both teams coming into this tournament. But with Korea Finals heading underway, we saw GC Busan Red really stepping up their game and really going up to the levels of GC Busan Blue and equaling in the power level that we didn't expect from these guys. But at the same time, we also want to talk about GC Busan Blue as well, because they have been the team that has been dominating throughout Season 1 and Season 2. We just expected them to do exactly the same for the Korea Finals, but we saw them facing off against teams like IDEPS, and we saw teams like the other teams that are way up there, but we expected a dominating performance no matter what their oppositions were, but it's not what they have shown with this series that we've seen for these guys.
Yeah, exactly. And you said the GC Busan Derby matchup is an exciting match for you, but that is very exciting. But on the screen right now we have today's matches, but I'm more excited about the Coup d'etat and IDEPS because those two teams are good, but what really makes the story is that Coup d'etat and IDEPS, both of these teams, they've already faced both GC Busan Red and Blue.
Oh yeah.
And both of them lost both games.
Okay.
So many boths. But anyway, so whether Coup d'etat wins or IDEPS wins, they have to eventually face either Blue or Red, and they've already lost to both the teams. So I'm wondering if they'll be able to, even if they make it up after the losers match, will they be able to make it up into the finals?
It's definitely the final boss, it seems like, for Blade&Soul to go up against the GC Busan Blue or even Red and to really make yourself in a position that you want to really grant yourself that big prize. But like you said, Coup d'etat and IDEPS, no matter who wins out, they're gonna have to face GC Busan Blue or Red in the second and third place match that will be happening 2 weeks later. But you're gonna have to get through those GC Busan hurdles to really get that first place that you guys want. And Coup d'etat and IDEPS, they're not gonna be looking for third place. They're gonna be looking for the clincher, which is either second or first place in this Korea Finals. That will get them a secure spot in the World Championship. But without doing that, they have to, like you said, get over that hurdle and that big hill we know is GC Busan.
Yeah, exactly. And GC Busan's, they've always been very strong, especially as a team. Even last year, before GC Busan became a Blue and a Red, when it was just one team, they've also won the tag match for last year in the Worlds. So GC Busan's team, I don't know, something about GC Busan's teamwork has always been there, and now that they're divided into two, there's 2 strong teams that have a well-rounded team work. So
and exactly as you say, GC Busan, ever since the introduction of this tag format, they have been a strong team. They know the ins and outs of how to win a tag match, and they share that good information within their team database. And no matter if it's Red or Blue, they have been really, really good tag teams, and those are definitely a big benefit when it comes to Blade&Soul current format, which is the mix and match. You have to be good at singles, but you also have to be good at tag, and GC Busan have been really just impeccable in the way they really handle both situations. And we all know the singular talents are there, where all the individual talents, we've already seen them and they've already proven themselves. But getting that tag match working for your team is the next step, and that is what has been one step ahead for these guys in comparison to the likes of Coup d'etat or IDEPS.
Yeah, exactly. And looking at all these 12 players in all 4 teams, like you said, Joel, they are all talented single-wise, even in tag. It's just that the small difference in teamwork or team composition or even the roster change affects the whole team. Regardless of, like for example, for Coup d'etat, you have the 2-time world champion Shin Kim, but just because you have Shingyang Kim, this is not just a singles match.
It's true.
You know, it's teamwork. So even if there is a singles match, it's still gonna affect your team as a whole if you lose or if you win. So it's not just the singles match that's important. It's not just the tag match that's important.
You have to do well on both. And like you say, Ending, it's the tag matches that are worth so much because they're worth double or even triple the amount of points that you can acquire from the singles matches. But the important thing about this is, Ending, is that the most important matches, especially when you get to the later stages of a tournament, it will be a best of sevens. That means you're going to have to deal with multiple tag matches, and they're going to be worth a lot more than the singles you can really put out. So, you know, IDEPS and Coup d'etat, I think they're rightfully seated in this 3rd and 4th place spot currently. But if they want to go over that hurdle and really make themselves a better team to have a better contention to become the Korea's best team in Blade and Soul, they're going to have to improve their tag matches for sure.
Oh, exactly. I'll have to agree with you on that. But it seems like coming back to us, there's like a little computer problem maybe. Usually,
and we don't have a VCR, so you know.
We don't get cut off today.
And we finally we get to talk more, and that's the dream of our lives to talk more to you guys. But you know, we want to talk about these two teams. The first teams that will be facing off in match 1 for today are the GC Busan Blue and GC Busan Red. It is the Busan Derby that we've always been waiting for, and it's always an exciting thing because. When these two teams face off, it is like no other because they know the insides and outs of these two teams. They live in the same team house. They practice with each other day in and day out, and they know about each other better than anybody else does in this tournament. And GC Busan Blue and GC Busan Red currently at the top of the league, at the top of the table in regards to Korean Blade and Soul. It's just the top 2 teams facing up, but with a little bit of flavor we're talking about with the innate knowledge they have of each other, and that's going to be the interesting addition to how this matchup is going to unfold.
Yeah, and you know, for those of you who just came in, both the matches today will be best out of 7 as you saw previously on the screen. So with that said, I hope both the matches go, you know, full set.
Oh yeah, that will be the best.
Yeah, because if one team gets swept, I'll feel bad because this is the semifinals, and regardless of it being, you know, who wins and who loses, I want all these 4 teams to show us and show you guys the best game possible.
And it's very true because, you know, going to the full sets and playing as many sets as possible in a series does give us the best indication of, you know, which team can handle it out and really endure for those full 7 sets. And you know, point management, you know, mentality handling, and those kind of aspects that are kind of off the actual games themselves. They play such a big part in this long best of 7s, and like we said before, best of 7s are what decides the champions of each tournament, and that will not be any different once we get to the World Championships. So either GC Busan Blue or Red, who can handle it out the longest and who can keep their top game performance through the very end will be the better team in the end, and that's what we're going to be looking for in this particular series.
Yeah, the mental strength is very important, and it seems like the first match will be Yunta-san on the Blade Dancer versus Juno Han the Warlock.
Hey, but you know, before you can continue on with that, Juno Han, we have to talk about this guy. He has been obviously the leader of GC Busan Red for as long as the establishment was created. But just particularly in this Korea finals, he has been the sort of hard carry that we haven't seen from this guy in maybe in a year or so. So it's good to see him back on this hard carry role. But the biggest question about GC Busan Red is, you know, not about how hard Juno Han can carry, but it's more about how hard, you know, how much better his teammates can support his hard carry role. And that's going to be the good indication to whether game 1 will go to either blue or red, because we're going to get to the first single between Yunta-san and Juno Han. With the Busan Derby getting underway, the game 1 will come to you very shortly. Let's get it on. Game 1 begins of the Busan Derby, and GC Busan Blue and GC Busan Red really wants to make a statement first with the first point they will garner for themselves in this game 1 of this series. But the best of 7 is going to be what they're holding for, but Juno Han, the team leader, is going to be looking to just make a just a statement as to, you know, we are the stronger team, and you guys are our little sisters.
Tetherblade
And
with
that's
the
actually,
leech.
before I even finish that comment, that's a lot of damage coming in from Junohan already. The Blade Dancer from the Yuta-san could not get any defensive stance to negate that damage. He still has an escape up, so any crucial damage he can escape from, which he does now. He does use the tap escape to get away from that shackle, but Junohan
Tetherblade again, and
extremely
it is
comfortable with
over.
it, and it's an instant KO from Junohan without taking single damage. And there you go, Mr. Junohan dancing his moves, and his moves are always great on game and off the game, and he gets the first game for GC Busan Red, getting 1-0 win.
Yeah, clean, very clean. You know, both the Tetherblade hit at the right time with the first time with the leech into the aerial, took out like 60 to 70% health. And then, you know, in the middle, Junohan forced Yuta-san to use his tab escape, and, you know, if Junohan sees that a Blade Dancer is out of tab escape, and he doesn't have a Phantom Grip, so he can't use his Flock of Blades unless he comes close to knock him back. So another Tetherblade landing, it just indicated that the match was over.
And definitely it was, because the first round of damage coming from Junohan was enough to get him just an immense amount of advantage going forward. But at this point, he's under so much pressure, Yuta-san, that, you know, he has to look for that timing to use the tab escape correctly. But having already took so much damage, there's just so many opportunities for Junohan to make some creative plays. And like exactly what you mentioned, the Flock of Blades did not come through, and Junohan with the shackles and continue on with that burst damage, was just able to finish off relatively cleanly.
Yeah, very unfortunate for the Blade Dancer. If Junohan as a Warlock just puts the paper in front of your face, you can't do anything. Like I said, like we mentioned, the Flock of Blades, unless you get grabbed like from a Destroyer or get Phantom Grip by a Force Master or a Blade Dancer, the Flock of Blades, if it's, you know, gonna be used, you have to be close to knocking back, or but you know, it's not gonna be an escape like it usually is used. But we just saw on the second screen, we have Yoon Jae-jung versus Hyungyu Kim.
Did we see Yoon Jae-jung on the summoner? Did you happen to see that icon? I felt like I've seen. Was it the summoner? Was it? It might be.
Yeah, I think it's the summoner, because we haven't seen Yoon Jae-jung pull out his summoner, because that is his main.
It was his main.
And we've always seen him play the Warlock because he's been practicing the Warlock. He's been improving with the Warlock as well. So maybe it was time for him to bring out his summoner.
And I'm sure our viewers at Twitch chat know exactly what Yoon Jae-jung has picked. But we're going to go on to game 2 with the Busan Derby currently in favor of GC Busan Red, 1-0. We're going to get the game 2 underway. Let's get it on. Oh, and it is a summoner with Yoon Jae-jung going back to his main. As I saw a glimpse of that icon when they were introducing the players, but Yoon Jae-jung brings out his old game, bringing back the summoner against Hyungyu Kim's assassin. To be fair, Hyungyu Kim did pretty well in yesterday's matches on that assassin, putting some critical moves onto his opponents, but it's against a summoner now, so it's going to be a different opposition that he has to counterfeit for how he's going to approach his match.
We'll see. We've only seen the summoner from GFAM's Min Jung-oh, but you know, Yoon Jae-jung's summoner is very good as well. He joined the singles last year as well with the summoner, and he did pretty well. He didn't make it up too far, but he didn't get knocked off right off the bat. So we'll have to see how his summoner game is this time around.
Definitely the few times that we did see the summoner from it has been pretty impressive from Yoon Jae-jung, but it's all about the singles now where Hyungyu Kim, he's going to go for the initiative, but right now he's not seeing any angles that he can really poke through.
The cat is doing work because it did take out.
That's the damage. He's done. Bringing him down, and that's going to burst damage. We know of the summoner, bringing it out to nearly 5%. Another aerial, and it's going to be good enough to finish. So as soon as the cat brings him down to the knockdown onto the stun, that's just a summoner's free damage, a free shooting arrow, if you will, coming onto the assassin. Hyungyu Kim was knocked off in an instant. There you go, smiling.
The cat carried him. I'm gonna be honest. The cat did the chase. Well, this is Yoon Jae-jung's summon for you guys. There's nothing more to say.
Right.
This is his main. You guys, if you've only joined us in the Korea finals, you've only seen Yoon Jae-jung on the Warlock.
Yeah.
But this is how he plays the summoner.
And this is his main, guys. And you know, when he brings out the old game, the Primitive, his knowledge of Blade&Soul is the summoner, and using that cat to his
like
best
in this
ability.
replay right now, he's already out of both escapes.
Yep.
The replay should have shown where Yoon Jae-jung was able to take out both Hyungju Kim's Tab Escape and Lotus of Escape.
Right.
That was the main point, and that is when this started with the Super Sunflower going into your face, and the assassin, even though you're an assassin, you can't do anything about that.
I even think to an extent that a summoner has even more damage potential than a warlock does. If you get the free damage in, if you get the free damage in, it's one of the strongest classes in the game, but just hard to make those opportunities do count, and that's what makes a great summoner, and Yoon Jae-jung showed that against Hyungju Kim, bringing the Busan Derby back to even now with red and blue completely equal at 1-1. Then going to the third match with the tag match coming up, and that's going to be the one to decide who gets the 2-point advantage going to the rest of the series.
Yep, exactly. I don't know, from yesterday, all the matches start off with each team getting a singles.
Yeah.
So 1-1, and now this tag is going to give one of the teams the momentum to carry on. But you know, like yesterday, like I just said, it's always been going down to best out of 7, all full sets.
It's true.
So we'll see what happens with today's matchups. But you know,
you can't doubt it. But yeah, I would really love another full set, especially from a Busan Derby, because I really want to get the best idea of what the power levels are between these two teams, because GC Busan Red has seemingly gone up from Season 2, and GC Busan Blue, if not equal, they have gone a little bit down from Season 2 as well. So kind of just leveling each other's play and their power level is what we're trying to get the intention of. But just what we're seeing so far, it just seems like it's more balanced between the two teams than it has ever been. And it's just exciting to see how these 7 sets are going to tell us a little bit of the answers of, you know, which team is the better sister team at the moment.
And we'll have to see the composition of what they're going to bring out for the tag, but the music has changed, and we will be getting into the third set. Let's get it on.
There we go, and we see Yoon Jae-jung bringing out the Warlock. Definitely a teamwork-based composition for his pick. It's actually going to be Seongjin Choi, the first one out, instead of Juno Han, the usual first man out for GC Busan Red. It's definitely an interesting composition they're going with. Warlock is usually the first one to start off, especially with Juno Han being so formidable at it. But actually, Seongjin Choi is starting us off quickly.
And if you notice, Seongjin Choi is with the Fury build. That's probably why he wanted to come out first, so he can use the Fury build and tag back in.
Right, and he's going to put in as much damage, which he's starting to do now, onto the Familiar. He's already almost dead, and nearly finishes him out, but like you say, the Fury build is going to try to put in as much damage as possible. And there we go, he's going to put in the damage, but he's taking a little bit of damage himself, so he has to be a little bit careful. Yoon Jae-jung is putting out the damage from the Warlock. There you go, tags out. So the Fury build, I'm putting in a little bit of damage onto the Warlock, which actually forces him. It's good enough to force him out, but as soon as he comes in, Juno Han is not the one to get the chase, but the stun does come out right away from day.8 Choi. As soon as he gets it, but the Warlock is coming into the area without that stun available from the assassin, so day.8 Choi, he knows he has to be a little bit careful before he does get into the initiative.
Yeah, it seems as if GC Busan is being pushed back to the corner. Yuta-san has already used 2 interfere points. Same thing with day.8 Choi using 1 interfere point. Compared to GC Busan Red, they are at a more comfortable position, even though Seongjin Choi did take some damage, but that is not too much, that's not too critical for GC Busan Red right now.
Juno Han is really going to like the situation. Until he goes to the aerial though, gonna have to go back away from that distance himself, but the Dwambard is trying to put in some damage onto him. But Juno Han, like we said, he's in this position that he can stall out day.8 Choi. He has the escape currently available, but day.8 Choi is still going aggressive regardless of the situation, and Juno Han does freeze him, gets frozen with the mine that's coming up.
Alright, there we go. Juno Han is unfrozen. Before the Familiar is gone, Juno Han is going to want to do something. There we go, body swap is used. Juno Han is out of all of his escapes now.
Wow, my goodness, and day.8 Choi showing the class that he is on that assassin, and he does not back out against Juno Han.
Right, there we go. Branded. day8 is going to make his move now.
Oh, then the bombard coming in. The interference now. Oh!
The Tether Blade connects, forcing
Yeah.
day8 to use his leaf to escape.
Yeah, but he still saves this tab escape, which is still there if he chooses to use it.
Yeah.
They're pretty short on both sides on the timer that will get them to force out with the free tag points.
1 more second
coming
until
out.
that force tag out. There we go.
And the chase
Does
it
not
doesn't
happen.
happen. It actually happens on the other side with Hyungi Kim getting the stun up on him. The chase doesn't happen again. But
Both of them use their tab escape.
yeah, the lightning draw coming in for the interfere. The time distortion will come out from the defensive side of Sung Choi, but right now, just Yuntae-san on the Blade Dancer is going to be looking for the damage, but the offensive interfere coming in with that lightning draw. It's a lot of damage being put on him, and that's going to be good enough to force him out once again using that second tag point from GC Busan Red, and Sung Choi is back out onto the field.
Yep, Blade Dancer versus Destroyer. This is the best Beyblade matchup.
Yep.
Yep,
Spinning
you
around.
guys are watching the Beyblade. No, I'm just kidding. Anyways, yeah, so right now, both of them, they're just looking and waiting to see who's going to make the first move. There we go with the Searing Strike.
Yuntae-san tries to send that blade out, trying to knock him down, but doesn't happen that time around. But Sung Choi does come in with the offensive interfere. Hyungi Kim putting in a little bit of damage, but that's not what he wanted from that particular interfere, not putting too much damage for the offensive effort. But day8 still is going to be the one tag in from Yuntae-san. So the second tag point being used by GC Busan Blue now. Pretty equal in terms of the tag points they do have available, but day8 first time he was out, he did relatively well against Juno Han. So his next opponent, Sung Choi on the Destroyer, is what he has to face next.
Yep, these two guys that are on the field right now, day8 and Sung Choi, are the two players that didn't come out in the singles yet.
Yep.
So, you know, they could have a little sneak preview of what would happen if these two came out.
Definitely day8, you see him still going with the Ice Mine instead of the typical landmine we see from these tag matches from an Assassin, but he's really likening that Frozen Mine that gets his teammates to get frozen for additional stun opportunity that he's trying to look for, but
Barisaw pulls him in.
yep.
day8 is still out of his tab escape right now.
Sung Choi is still taking that damage. The Hurricane does not put in a lot of damage on him.
Yeah, 10 seconds left until that force tag is happening with Sung Choi. We'll see what day8 could do with the 40 seconds left.
Definitely day8 is going to look for the chase. The ultimate is going to be happening, putting a little bit of damage, and that's going to be the force tag under the bombard. Will he get the chase on? He doesn't go with it. He was on stealth mode, and that does negate him from going for that chase onto Juno Han, but he's going to be feeling very happy about this situation, putting in that little bit of ultimate damage, actually getting the ultimate damage from himself from Juno Han. day8 gets enough damage onto him to be forced to use a tag out. As soon as he comes in with Yuntae on the Warlock, the interfere happens from both sides, a reactionary one. Trying to get the damage into either side. Not much happening though.
Yeah, Warlock mirror matches are usually, you know, it seems like they're doing a lot, but the papers block everything, so it's just going back and forth with no damage being taken.
Oh, there we go. That's actually the start
aerial
of it, yeah. And Juno Han does get a series of damage onto him, but that's not the damage you really want from that. You want a lot more from that, but
good defensive interfere from day8 to, you know, bother or annoy Juno Han for putting in more damage as we, as we expected.
And as you mentioned that GC Busan Blue is lacking the interfere points now. Yuntae-san and day8 do not have any interfere points until that 3-minute mark does come up. But Juno Han still has the luxury of having Sung Choi out on their field. But this is where the defensive interfere could be crucial. But the tag in just in time enough for allow Yuntae-san to save his teammate Yuntae from dying out. And having that Warlock dying early could have been crucial for GC Busan Blue.
Yeah, Yuntae, it was very good that he was able to tag out in that split moment where he was not CC'd, and Yuntae with full health is on the field right now.
Definitely the minute mark is coming up to the play, and Yuntae is going to be looking to make something happen, but it's really tough to do so when you're alone like that, and the only interfere option you do have is Yuntae. Actually, he opts to tag out instead. Back out onto day8 now. He does have one more tag point if he chooses to use it, but
one good CC from Hyungyu Kim. Juno Han has the luxury, as
literally
you mentioned before, of 2 interfere points right now.
And the only interfere points they do have from the side of GC Busan Blue is Yuntae, but Yuntae is pretty low on health.
Yeah, if he comes out, he might die.
He might die out with the damage burst that could happen from an assassin, so he does have to be careful for the 5 seconds that he's trying to be defensive towards his teammates. But
hey, that's a Korean flag, blue and red.
Hey, but that's very good for us. But day8 to make something happen because right now his team is definitely behind in the terms of damage charts.
Everybody got their interfere point from on that 3-minute mark. So everybody is a little, more laid back right now.
Definitely better of Yuntason to get that interfere point back, allowing that defensive interfere options to be a possibility. Actually, we see GC Busan Red using the interfere first, and
Good defensive interfere by Sungjin Choi.
Yeah, putting the Iron Fortress up, which negates any type of moves from happening from that interfere. Frozen Mine doesn't connect this time around. The Ice Mine is what day.8 is still going for. He's not going for the landmines whatsoever.
Yeah, tags out. So the two people on both sides have all interferes except for Sungjin Choi. So, it's going to be an even fight depending on who lands the CC first, because Daeyoung Choi is still out of his tab escape for the next 13 seconds.
And it's definitely a dangerous situation with Jinohan having that full HP with that offensive interfere possibility happening. If he puts in a lot of damage, Daeyoung Choi could be knocked off in an instant, but it sends him into the area right before he's tagged in, and that is a perfect play to go with, allowing zero possibility of a chase happening. That's actually going to force out interfere coming in from GC Busan Red.
Alright, so now, on the other hand, GC Busan Blue have more interfere points.
Yeah.
But Yuntason has to endure everything because Yuntason has no tag point.
And the last the last tag point already being used by GC Busan Red, and Jinohan, he does have the tag point, but he has no teammates to rely on until that 1 minute mark does come back up, but he doesn't need any teammates. Puts in the damage himself, forcing out the defensive interfere coming in from GC Busan Blue. But nothing really happening from the Blade&Soul ultimate. The ultimate coming in from Jinohan doesn't connect that time around. But Yuntason, he's going to have to rely on an interfere play.
10 seconds left until the 1 minute mark where everybody gets another interfere point. Jinohan decides to tag out.
But that's Sungjin Choi taking that damage from the Warlock onto that shackle. And Yuntason is trying to put in the damage onto GC Busan Red now. This is a good chance for them, actually. Hyungi Kim does call on the defensive interfere, negating that
Shadow
damage.
Slash, nice.
That was actually very good defensive effort, but actually turned into an offensive one near the end of that. And 48 seconds all they have left. It might go to the TKO with the damage chart being pretty even, to be fair. And it just has to be Blue putting in a little more damage to be safer. But right now, just by looking at the damage charts with the health bars, Red seems to be a little bit ahead, but it's really hard to compensate.
Yeah, if you see, Jinohan has 3 interfere points, so Sungjin Choi, please make one opportunity for Jinohan to come in, and it might just, be a victory for you guys. But there's only 20 seconds left.
And like you said, just one burst damage from that combo from the Warlock and the Destroyer would be enough to get enough damage advantage going for this TKO, but really nothing going for this team. Blue really realizes their situation. They do have to keep it safe. The ultimate coming in from the Destroyer. Really, the Warlock is trying to come in, but really doesn't have an opportunity to. Actually, Yunjung is the one to send out the ultimate. Actually, the damage goes out after the timer runs out, so that will not count. So Blue is still at that close level with Red, and this might be a really hard one to compensate. So definitely Red actually gets the victory in that tag match.
Busan Red.
If that ultimate had connected before the timer ran out, definitely Blue would have got the victory.
If that was a accountable buzzer beater right there, then like you said, Joel, GC Busan Blue would have secured it.
Yes.
But it did not make the buzzer, and it did not count, and the victory goes, this match's victory goes to GC Busan Red, giving them 3 points, GC Busan Blue having 1 point.
And 3-1 is currently the score of the Busan Derby, and GC Busan Red is the team. That is ahead of Blue at the moment, but we want to talk about the tag match that just happened before our eyes. Very high quality of going back and forth between the two teams, really trading out the damage, trading out the tag points, and really just the opportunity that presented to each other. They negated that with the defensive effort coming in from both sides. So,
if you guys remember this whole match throughout, you see both the teams, GC Busan Blue and Red, cautiously using their resources, not just depleting them completely where everybody has 0 points. You always see at least 1 or 2 players with at least 1 tag or 1 interfere.
We only had a couple of these skirmishes from these both sides going for the extreme amount of damage. Only happened a few times because the defensive efforts coming in from both Red and Blue disallowed for those skirmishes to actually happen. So, it's a very high quality defensive tag match that we did see from these two teams. It did go to damage chart near the end. 10 minutes wasn't enough to really separate the sides in terms of KO. So, very good game, but in the end, GC Busan Red did get enough damage and then that was enough to pull them to the victory, get that 2 points in the series.
Yeah, early game, just slightly, GC Busan Blue was ahead in the damage chart. However, you know, as the time went on, as you said, you know, GC Busan Red slowly started to come back with Juno Han doing some more damage constantly, whereas Yunjae Jung on the Warlock took a little bit more damage. Right now on the replay, it seems like he has half health, but he got that heal when he was at like 30% health from taking the damage. And
as you see on the screen, yeah, the ultimate did not connect before the timer ran out. Yep. The animation is a little bit too long for GC Busan Blue to garner themselves that damage that would have actually, it would have been good enough to garner them the win in the end, but GC Busan Red gets those 2 points like we say, and we are going to be back to the 2 singles coming right your way. That will be the decider as to which team points will be going towards GC Busan Blue. They're going to have to really collect as much points as possible for the next tag match that's coming up in Game 6.
Yeah, exactly. But, you know, as we are getting ready for set 4 and 5, which are 2 singles again worth 1 point each, if GC Busan Red wins just one single out of the 2 and wins the set 6, then they just take away the victory away from GC Busan Blue and just make it up to the final seed and make GC Busan Red the 2-time winners of Season 1 and 2 fight it out again with either coup d'etat or IDEX.
And it's true, and Daeyeon Choi is going to be the next man out for GC Busan Blue on the Assassin against Sungjin Choi on the Destroyer. Sungjin Choi definitely showed up his game on this tag match. We saw the first sighting of this guy in Game 3, but he did particularly well with the teamwork coordination that he was supposed to do, and his solo performances as well, being out on the Destroyer. But he's against one of the best players in the game right now with Daeyeon Choi on the Assassin, who really played well again this time. But we are going to go right on to Game 4. No wasting time between GC Busan Blue and GC Busan Red. The second single series is coming right your way, so let's get it on. We are for Game 4 after that tag match did go over to GC Busan Red. They're currently up 3-1, but it will be Game 4 with Daeyeon Choi on the Assassin versus Sungjin Choi on the Destroyer.
Many would say the Assassin definitely has an advantage, but it is Sungjin Choi, so we'll have to see how he plays this.
And just another pointer that Daeyeon Choi did bring in the landmine this time. He does not go with the ice mine, which he probably regretted at certain situation that it didn't go to that additional damage.
Go with the chase. He does not have his leaf down. He does not have his tab escape.
Yeah.
Okay, he did have the leaf down. Okay.
Okay.
Whew, I thought he didn't have the leaf down, and Sungjin Choi was just gonna end it.
Wow, but already Sungjin Choi putting out the damage.
Wow.
That's done.
This is the World Destroyer right now.
It really is, and landmine is going to be knocking him down, but really to no effect. The Ember Stop is going to negate any type of damage possibility that can come from him, but...
Okay, he gets the grab. However, Daeyeon Choi does get his tab escape back, uses it right away.
Alright, so Sungjin Choi, if he gets one more stun up, still is lacking the 2 escape possibilities, so Daeyeon Choi has to be careful while being offensive, so...
Pulls him in.
Yeah, just one more stun, and this might be it!
What? Okay, so he cannot
misses a stun.
Well, he could not connect. But you know, he still has his persistence. He can get out once.
But at the same time, Sungjin Choi does have to be careful because he is lacking his tab escape. While the assassin can put up one more stun, that would allow him enough time to put in the damage to finish him off. But Sungjin Choi, he was seemingly ahead, but he needs to do a lot more. Now Sungjin Choi has his tab escape back. So this is a chance for it.
He couldn't.
The landmine is going to be knocking Dan down, so whether Sungjin Choi can counter off of this, we have to see. But Daeyeon Choi, Daeyeon Choi is seemingly on the advantageous side now with just one more stun. Would be good enough for him, but instead of putting in the damage with that bombard, could he finish him off is the question here. The bombard does not connect. The stun actually coming in from Daeyeon Choi. Sungjin Choi is going to put in the damage and stun one more time, and that's going to be enough to finish him off, though. Just slim some damage though.
Sungjin Choi is trying to live with all the iframes being used.
Yeah.
He still does have his tab escape, but he might just die before he gets to use it.
But Sungjin Choi knows that Daeyeon Choi does not have his escape available. So other than the flower, so one more crucial stun up and Sungjin Choi could get the finish.
He's gonna make his move.
There we go. Daeyeon Choi making the first move, going forward to Sungjin Choi. The landmine is being planted, being popped. The distance is away from that. Oh,
Embers.
just gets away
Oh,
from that.
all right, the leaf was used, but
Alright.
Daeyeon Choi does get his tab escape back.
Whoa,
Body swap.
body swap does happen. It's actually going for the damage and knocks him down. It's gonna be the bombard coming up. Daeyeon Choi is gonna be a dangerous situation, and it's gonna be finishing him off. And Sungjin Choi, he lives through that time of the iframe that you're talking about, but wasn't enough to pull him out in the end. He gets the pat on the back from his teammates, and the best effort that Sungjin Choi could have shown on the destroyer.
Ends it with the poison breath and the bombard. But you know, I gotta give a lot of props to Sungjin Choi.
Yeah.
Playing it that well against Daeyeon Choi's assassin
Oh my goodness.
on a destroyer.
We thought he was gonna finish him off in the early game.
That was very good. Even though Sungjin Choi lost, I'm pretty sure he is thinking that was a good game. It was worth it.
But I said this from yesterday, it's all about the points and it's all about the wins, and they need to garner their points. And Sungjin Choi, he's had this game yesterday where he was really, really close at beating out an opponent, but he did lose out in that game, losing at that 1 point. But in the end, it's about those points that you have to gather for your teammates. And Sungjin Choi, I'm sure he wanted just a little more than just a good performance to get them a point. But
That's true. But
unfortunately, he doesn't get it.
Yeah, but now it is GC Busan Blue is slowly climbing back up. It was 3-1. Now it is 3-2. GC Busan Red having 3, GC Busan Blue having 2. One more singles coming up. If Blue gets this singles as well, it's going to be tied 3-3.
And 3-3 is going to indicate for us that Game 6 will not happen in our new format that we have acquired for Korean Finals. We're going to go straight on to Game 7, which will be the 3-pointer inside the series. So if GC Busan Blue wins this next singles coming up, that will be the situation that is going to be happening.
And I'm very...
I would just go ahead,
Yeah, but you mentioned about the new format, and I'm very happy for you guys who may not have gotten the update that, you know, if it becomes a 3-3 tie, we don't go into the set 6, which is worth 2 points, and, you know, we just go to the last tag, because, you know, it's the first team to make it to 6 points. So if one team wins a set 6, then it's going to be 5 points. So it was useless. It was time wasting. So, you know, we just decided to go to set 7 if it becomes a tie. But
wow, this is a big match here. Daeyeon Choi and Junohan. These are the true carries, bar none. Everyone in this Blade&Soul scene is considering these two players to be their respective carries for their team. And they are the carries of the 2 best teams in current Blade&Soul Korea. And just Junohan and Daeyeon Choi is going to tell us the best of answers as to which is the better team right now. And this single is going to tell us a big statement going forward with that next tag coming up.
Yeah, well, GC Busan Blue sending out Daeyeon Choi twice in a row.
I think it's a good strategy.
It's unfair.
It's a good strategy to send out the best player. Send out your best player every time. I think that's the best strategy.
All right, well, we'll have to see if he is the best player or if Junohan will be the better player. The music has changed, and we will be going into the last single of this series. Let's get it on.
I have to give it to you, Andy. This series has definitely been delivering to our expectations, and already it's Game 5, the last singles of this series, and it's just the dynamics going back and forth between these two teams is so beautiful to watch. And Daeyeon Choi, like we said,
Tether Blade connecting, forcing him to use his tab escape from the start.
The bombard actually got coming in, but putting no damage onto Junohan actually.
All right, both escapes are used by Daeyeon Choi now. If you get one Tether Blade down,
he's not backing down whatsoever. Junohan is still going to go for the time distortion, even though he has the tab escape available, trying to get the other cooldowns back on his skills. But Choi is the one at the dangerous situation. If Junohan can get one crucial stun up into the aerial, that might be the start of this. And this is the damage coming in from the Warlock. Junohan putting in the damage. The stun is coming from the back row chase, and that's going to be enough damage, putting him on to 20% health. And Daeyeon Choi is an extremely dangerous situation. But before we say that, Junohan gives it up there to finish him off. And there he goes with that Super Saiyan Junohan, putting in that damage onto Daeyeon Choi, and he is good enough to finish him off.
This is Junohan's power, even without the Anger Brows. What are we going to see when he puts on the Anger Brows? I don't know.
Oh my goodness, and Junohan, he knows when to step up, and against Daeyeon Choi on the assassin, he shows class And as soon as he takes off that stun,
Yeah.
and when he's food, as soon as he knows that all the escapes are gone, he goes in straight away with the area with the chains, and that's good enough to finish him off.
Yeah, well now it's 4-2 now.
Yep,
So if GC Busan Red wins the next
Game 6.
Game 6 tag match, they will win this series and make it up into the finals and force GC Busan Blue, the 2-time winners of Season 1 and 2, to play another game and give them a harder time to get back up into the finals.
And definitely, what have we thought, going into this series previously, right before we went on to it?
Yeah.
Did we expect GC Busan Red to be ahead in this series?
Oh,
This
no.
is what we're talking about with the power level
Yeah.
changes that is happening between the two teams. GC Busan Red has noticeably gotten better ever since Season 2, and GC Busan Blue, having dominated Season 1 and 2, they have not been the exact same team we have seen dominating in this Korea Finals. So just this balancing of the power level is definitely happening, and just right now from the scoreline, GC Busan Red is the better team, but they need one more match win to really finish off the series and clinch themselves over GC Busan Blue.
Yeah, will this set 6 potentially being the last match? Will it be the last match if GC Busan Blue Red wins, or will Blue take this win and make it into a full 7-set series?
And like you say, Ending, just winning this one tag match from GC Busan Blue will get them right onto even, and everyone can have the fair chance of winning Game 7 and take the series. So right now it's up to GC Busan Blue to really, this is their best time to step it up, and this will be their time to get that 2 points and going on to Game 7.
Yeah, and the music has changed once again. We are ready for set 7. We will be potentially the last match. Let's get this match underway. Let's get it on.
And I can't state this enough, how much of a privilege it is to really just be able to speak in front of these wonderful two teams that are showing a beauty of a series, with the both sides of GC Busan Derby really living up to his expectations. But it could be well over with if Red wins this next match coming up. But
Swaps
Choi,
it off.
the first man out, he's pretty angry from the loss that he has just faced. So gonna put the redemption onto other of his teammates from the red side.
Go Typhoon. Alright, knockdown.
Oh, the bombard is gonna be coming in.
Oh, tries to pull him in, but day.8 backs out. It's fine. It's fairly slow. In like the start of the game, day.8 did make his first move. But if you notice, they are playing it very cautiously. And no defensive interference coming in either.
And because Daeon Choi realizes, unless a decisive damage does happen, Seongjin Choi will use that Stone Shield to heal most of that minimal damage. So being careful and looking for opportunities and chances to put in that decisive amount of damage that a Stone Shield cannot heal back for himself. So he's going to look for opportunities slowly.
Yeah.
Let's knock him down though.
Nobody using. Oh, there we go.
Body
The
swap
first persistence is used by Seongjin Choi right now.
First body swap happening with the knockdown onto the bombard, but it's putting minimal amount of damage that we need a little more of. Second body swap is going to be happening.
Ooh, Ice Mine lands on Seongjin Choi. He's going to try to start. This may take out Seongjin Choi's tab escape if Daeon Choi decides.
It's the right timing on. He does it, and exactly as you say, Seongjin Choi is forced to use that tab escape as you mentioned. Daeon Choi in a very comfortable position in this 10 seconds left over. Finally the reaction. It's going to be putting on the damage from the Blade Dancer, the Lightning Jolt onto the continuous damage, having to use the tag point from the red side, but blue side gets the free tag on. They do get the chase on from the Juno Han, but it's going to be well worth it because they do get a free tag, whereas GC Busan Red had to use that tag point from the slimmest of health that Seongjin Choi had to be careful of.
Yeah, Yoon Jae-jung coming out using his tab escape. Juno Han has both his escapes. Oh, the time distortion does give Yoon Jae-jung his tab escape back as well. This is a mirror match, like I said before. They throw a lot of stuff, but the paper blocks everything, so the damage chart, the health bar does not go down as much.
Definitely, the health bar doesn't tell us the full story when a Warlock mirror match does happen, but but right now, this is the important one because two Warlocks, they can be really the game changer for their teammates. The Blade does land this time around. It's going to be forcing out the interfere coming from the Destroyer Seongjin Choi. Actually putting some offensive interfere. It's going to be churning into that. The Warlock is going to be putting a lot of damage onto Yoon Jae-jung, and Juno Han making that defensive effort, just transitioning that to an offense one immediately, putting the damage onto him, but
Yeah, another offensive interference by Hyungi Kim.
oh my goodness, and suddenly Blue is at the behind the shackles. They have to be a little more careful of their situation. Juno Han, they have to consistently remind themselves of the damage output that he can put out.
Yeah, Juno Han not having his tab escape, and the familiar going in, he's going to be unable to use his body swap if the familiar is not out. So 20 seconds or until 13 seconds the force tag happens.
There we go, the
Juno
aerial
Han.
coming in, the offensive interfere, knowing that the defensive interfere will happen from Sung Detroit. Very good of negating many of that damage coming in. Tries to go for that again with that offensive shift. Doesn't happen this time around. Juno Han will get the free tag in. Coming in with Hyungi Kim now on the assassin. Just right now, other than Juno Han's burst of damage and, of course, the Sung Detroit taking that damage early, seems pretty even on both sides, and really we need a lot more critical plays to change the outcome of this game.
Yeah, Hyungi Kim coming out using all his escapes already.
Okay.
All right, Juno giving back his cooldowns.
Just a time distortion to get that cooldown back, as you mentioned, on that tab escape for Hyungi Kim.
Yeah, same thing for Yuntaesan.
Yep.
Yuntaesan comes in, time distortion.
Oh, but it's actually going to be Day.8 coming for that offensive interfere. Sung Choi are almost coming in for the third defensive interfere, which is going to negate him of all those interfere points. He can no longer come in for that defensive interfere point that is very reliant of what a destroyer can do for your tag team, but not having that is going to allow Blue to go in a little more aggressively, knowing that fact.
Yeah, this is a very close game. Hyungi Kim is
Solid,
in the air.
good job doing the aerial.
Reactionary
The
2v2.
Warlock putting in a lot of damage from the Hyungi jump
Kim.
on that Warlock on the interfere, and it's not good enough to finish him off immediately. That's going to be forcing another tag point. And second one being used by GC Busan Red, and Sung Choi is back out.
All right,
be careful though. Oh, putting in a bombard.
The force tag happens.
Yep, and Day.8 Choi is the one out.
Tab escape is used.
Tab escape is used immediately as soon as he comes in for that stun. Sung Choi is being put on him, but Stone Shield is going to heal him back up. But
if you guys notice, the resource points is still towards GC Busan Blue. There's many zeros on GC Busan Red side.
yeah, definitely. GC Busan Red is definitely behind in terms of resources and also in the health bar, because the second series of damage did come from that Yuntaesan's Blade Dancer combo along with that Yuntae Warlock damage. So Day.8 Choi, third man out, he has to be the one to make just an additional play to clinch themselves far ahead in this damage show, which they're going to be really looking for.
Yeah, another minute and 40 seconds until everybody gets an interfere point back, which means Juno Han is the only one with one interfere point for the next minute and 35 seconds
Definitely,
for GC Busan Red.
and definitely psychologically, Sung Choi and the entire side of GC Busan Red will be under pressure because they know how far behind they are, and the 4 minutes and 30 seconds is what they have to play out somehow. Get an advantage, but it's really hard to do so when you're lacking all these interfere points. The only interfere point they have right now is with Juno Han. But with a destroyer combo, you can't really get the initiative combo that you're trying to look for with that damage.
Yeah, we'll have to see, because like you said, they are kind of scared right now because they could always do a defensive or an offensive interfere on GC Busan Blue side.
So rich on resources is what the GC Busan Blue is right now. The stun coming
Offensive
up with the offensive interfere.
With
The Blade Dancer ultimate putting in a little bit of damage from Sung Choi. And Sung Choi is going to be taking that damage with Day.8 Choi. Adding to that insult, but Juno Han is going to go onto the air. The ultimate coming in from the Warlock, and that's going to be good enough to finish him off. And Juno Han is the first man out, and this seemingly will give a lot of an advantage over to Blade.
Also going to be knocked out.
And
right
the
there.
second man out, right out, exactly what we have been waiting for, because Blue, whenever you knock out Juno Han, you know you're at an incredible, immense amount of advantage and can just move forward, and Red just literally has to give up at this point.
Well, they are not giving up right now, but like I said, the resource points, this is why it's important. When you lack, you can't help. But GC Busan Blue having a lot, they could just come in defensively and offensively whenever they feel like.
And that's exactly what they did before this 3-minute mark we're about to hit. If you can make all those offensive efforts, make it happen before the 3-minute mark, there's just no point, because your teammates will be dead without getting the interfere points back. So Sung Choi is left alone, stranded in an island.
Ooh, double knockdown.
The double knockdown is the best you can do, but there's so many opportunities that you know, GC Busan Blue knocked away from GC Busan Red. You know, when you knock up Juno Han as the first man out, that just relieves GC Busan Red of any offensive or defensive opportunities you can make with that Warlock, especially when you're at the caliber of Juno Han is. It's just a very seemingly defeat that we really expected after Juno Han did go out.
Yeah, but it's not the point that Junohan got. Well, yeah, it is important that Junohan did get knocked out first. However, the reason that for that happening is because GC Busan Red had to use so many defensive interferes because Blue was making such good offensive moves that Junohan and Hyungyu Kim were out of interferes, so they had to just tag out and tag in. A solo play on the field. So when Seongjin Choi tagged out and Junohan came in, that's when there's no interference. So if you get into an aerial, regardless of you being Junohan or whoever you are, you're just gonna get an offensive interfere from the opponent and just get bursted down. And that is what happened.
And literally exactly what happened. But as you mentioned, with the resource points being the most point of importance here, Seongjin Choi we saw on the Destroyer being the primary defensive tool on that interfere, having used the 3 points relatively early in the game and not having it until the 3-minute mark came up. But just not having that option once the other team has so many resources to work with, that just becomes a difference maker until you get to that 3-minute mark. But Blue definitely did not allow Red to really stall out their game onto that 3-minute mark. They just had to finish him off right away, and they did a good job of that.
Exactly. Right now, he will be tagged out. And this is the reason. You can't help. You see all the interference points at 0, and you're in the air. You can't do anything about this. It doesn't matter who you are. If you're in the air web, you're done. And after that, if you don't have any resources to help defensive interferes, you guys are gonna be done. Unless it's the same situation with Blue, like if both sides they're out of interferes, then maybe it's possible. But this was not the case this time around.
Just Blue doing everything exactly what they were supposed to do in a textbook format. Knocking off all the tag points and all the interfere points, most crucially from Seongjin Choi on that Destroyer, was exactly what they needed to do before that 3-minute mark came up, and that gave them enough resource advantage to go in extra aggressively to finish them off. And right now, GC Busan Blue, we thought they were out of this, but we're back on even, and Game 7 will be underway, and this is exactly on equal terms. Game 7, we're not going to waste any time. We're going to go right into it. Game 7, the final game of GC Busan Derby, will be happening to decide who will win out the series. Just one more match on either side can do it. We'll get the match underway. Let's get it on. And no matter how ahead GC Busan Red seemed to be, in the end, GC Busan Blue finds a way to come back. Like their series with IDEPS they had in the previous week, they show it again and again why they're still the top team in Korea, and Red is trying to rival that title. But just right now, it just seems both teams are very much on even grounds, and either team can take the win right here.
Yeah, assassin mirror match right now. We haven't seen Hyungyu Kim come out first in a very long time. But he is doing a good job right now. Forcing Dae Choi to use all his escapes already.
All 3, including the back roll, is already gone. So time distortion. That is the best time distortion ever, giving all 3 escapes back. But yeah, this is exactly why you need a Warlock in your team. If you have a team composition that you want to work with, just find a Warlock player and you'll be happy, man. But Dae Choi gets all the escapes back, as we mentioned, and Hyungyu Kim is the one without this escape, but actually Junohan does come in on the interfere. That's actually putting a bit of damage.
Hyungyu Kim still has his Lotus of escape right now, put down the flower, and he's still at full health and forces Dae Choi to tag out as well.
So Junohan doing a very good job of doing that double duty with that interfere, coming with that time distortion, but putting in that damage onto Dae Choi as well. That's going to be enough damage to force the tag out from Dae Choi. Now Yoon Jung, the Warlock, is going to be the next man out. So in terms of tag points, currently Red is ahead with all tag points available, whereas Blue just seen use their first tag point available.
GC Busan Red is up one more interfere point as well. So, it's not a big difference, but let's see how this plays out. If this continues, GC Busan Red will have the advantage from the resource point.
Hyungyu Kim only has 5 seconds that he has left on the field. He wants to.
He might CC it and then tag out.
Yeah, but he just keeps himself tagged. The chase does happen! A wonderful play! That was a risky play! As soon as he tags out, and that was
tags out right away.
That was completely Hyungyu Kim's fault, because he was going for that risky play, going for that eventual stun that he was wanting to do from that frozen state. but he knew that Blue could come in with that interfere, that as soon as the timed it correctly, he gets him into the aerial, forcing that easy chase to happen immediately. So I would have to say Hyung Kim made a big risky play there that didn't pay off.
Yeah, definitely. If it worked, it could have paid off. But the high risk, high reward. The risk was too big.
And the punishment was big as well, and just keeping his distance would not have allowed that to happen, but I just went for that risky play from Hyung Kim and allowed Sung Choi to take free 70% damage before he already has to use another attack point to bring Junohan back in, but you just saw just in the meantime, while we were talking about this, Dae Choi already used 2 attack points already, so if he does come back out, he will not have attack point available, and if he chooses to make a play.
There we go, the shackle is happening right now. Yoon Jae-jung taking some damage. Another mirror match once again.
Oh, but Junohan, they're taking the paper to both sides. Looking for the damage opportunity.
Ooh.
Putting in a little bit of damage already. That's going to be a lot of damage coming in from Junohan onto Yoon Jae-jung. It might be enough to finish him off. The Warlock is the first man out for GC Busan Blue, and GC Busan Red is at a huge advantage already.
Oh, Yoon Jae-jung dying with 1 tag point and 2 interfere points. This is crucial for GC Busan Blue right now.
Oh, but actually going to be a counterattack coming from the blue side, trying to make something happen, but Junohan is not going to allow that coming from the defensive interfere as well. Yutasun comes in, but there's not much option. Dae Choi coming with that last interfere points being used, but nothing to it really happening, and Junohan is going to be the next man tagged in. But already, we already see on the red side, Junohan is the only man left with the tag point available, and the other 2 teammates do not have any tag points. So
into the area with the leech.
Oh, but Junohan is going to put in the damage.
Not looking good.
Yutasun does have attack point if he do choose to use it. The ultimate is going to be cancelled and right away for Yutasun, putting in that defensive interfere coming in from the GC Busan red side. Nothing coming from it other than a defensive effort, but Yutasun is going to be coming too. Trying to put an initiate onto it, but it's taking a lot of damage already from Junohan though.
Pulls him away with the Phantom Grip, trying to do as much as he can. Another defensive interfere right now, or you can a double knockdown happens from Yutasun though.
Definitely, we see Yutasun trying to do as much as he can before he is going out for that last tag, which is available, and he just tags out in time, bringing out Dae Choi back out. Dae Choi haven't done relatively well against Junohan, so Junohan is going to be feeling very comfortable about the situation, but if he gets complacent, Dae Choi can strike back. It's a very questionable decision as to Dae Choi how he's going to play this out against Junohan.
Yeah, and it's still on the 5-minute
the aerial. It's going to be the damage happening. The shackles is going to be coming up. That continuous amount of damage from Junohan onto Dae Choi. But he has no tag point that he has to stall out for the next 1 minute. 13 seconds. It's not looking good. And it's not looking, he's not going to do it. There's no defensive interfere opportunity for GC Busan Blue. So it's Dae Choi left alone, stranded. He has to stay in the back of the field, try to stall as much time as he can, but just so little health that he has to work. It's very unlikely that he can survive for this time he has.
Yeah, both are stealth right now. The Ice Miner is put down, and like you said, there's still 1 minute and 40 seconds for everybody to get their interfere point back. This is very bad for GC Busan Blue right now.
And no resource points across the field until that 3-minute mark, as you mentioned. No interfere points from both sides, so it's exactly Hyung Kim and Dae Choi on the solo matchup is what they're gonna have to do. The decoy that comes up, they get their damage, but Dae Choi still going aggressive, even though he realizes his situation of how dangerous this could be.
You have 20 seconds on the Dae Choi is force tagged out, but I don't know if that's going to make a difference right now. Dae Choi are very low out.
Taking the damage from Hyung Kim. Hyung Kim just needs 1 more of that to finish him off. But
what?
Dae Choi did so well of stalling at the time, and Hyung Kim does not finish him off. 5 seconds is when he has to get this done. But Dae Choi is showing finesse, wasting out all this time. 1 minute 30 seconds was a successful mission. Over to Dae Choi and gets the free tag onto Yuntasun. Now he has a healthy Blade Dancer to fight off against Hyung Kim.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure GC Busan Red is like, oh, come on, Hyung, you can finish him off.
Yeah,
like, why are you allowing him to force tag out?
I'm sure Hyung Kim had it on his mind that he wanted to finish him off as well. The lightning jaw coming in, and that's going to be enough damage to finish him off. That is going to be the KO coming in for Hyung Kim, and that's going to bring out Sung Choi on the destroy. And suddenly, it's the second man out. But the Blade Dancer ultimate is not going to connect too much. Oh, then that is a lot of action that came in as soon as Sung Choi came in. The Destroyer ultimate is actually going to be happening, but with no damage continuation from that.
All right, the Blade Dancer healing up a little bit. No tab escape for the next 20 seconds. Sung Choi could definitely make his move. No interfere points, no worries. He used his persistence. There we go. He's going to make his move right now.
And it's probably the least expected thing of wanting the interfere points coming in from both sides. As soon as the 3-minute marker hits, they both use the reactionary interfere, but Yuntason takes the worst part of the trade in that counter. Sung Choi, he has 1 interfere point less, so it doesn't matter unless you get the free tag. So in the meantime, it's still a 1v1 situation between the two sides. So Yuntason, with the slimmest of hell, he has to find an answer against Sung Choi.
This is not looking good for GC Busan Blue, because even if they do get force tagged out in 20 seconds,
the
they are definitely going to chase Daeon Choi and finish him off.
The Phantom Grip is going to be happening, putting him to the aerial. And then the second aerial might come through. He does have the lightning draw available. Is he going to use it? He doesn't use it right now. I think he might look for the cheese play in the end from a distance, but he has 7 seconds that he had left to do. I think he wants to finish him off before his time around. Daeon Choi is still at the slimmest of health, but Sung Choi is going to survive with bringing out Daeon Choi.
Daeon Choi coming out with the blue buff. He got rid of Lotus of Escape.
He's going for it. He's going for it all. So no defensive mindset about Daeon Choi in this situation. Bringing out the blue buff, the riskiest build you can bring out with the assassin. But Sung Choi, just 1 damage could finish him off. But Sung Choi is going to be the next man out. The free tag most likely coming in. If he can just widen that distance. He doesn't get that. The chase does come in.
Okay, the chase does not come in.
Stun doesn't come in.
Junohan.
Junohan. The ultimate is gets enough distance to finish him off. But Junohan, he has so much HP to work with.
He didn't have to use any escapes at all when he was force tagged in. So, you know, a comfortable entrance for Junohan right now.
Definitely, and a reminder that Yuntason and Sung Choi do have their interfere points if they choose to use it for the reactionary 2v2. Seems like they're gonna wait for the 1-minute mark to make their plays, but Choi doing relatively well. Surprisingly, for how much pressure he should be under. The stun does not lead to any additional damage, but the 1-minute mark does happen, which allows both players on both sides to get the interfere points back. Doesn't really matter though, because
all right, the one and only tab escape is gone from the assassin. Now it is time for Junohan to land 1 more CC.
And this is the blue buff of assassin. If you do not have that tab escape, just get stuns on both sides. They know this is happening. The reactionary 2v2 is happening, but no damage coming from it other than Daeon Choi taking a little bit of damage, but 13 seconds is what he has to stall out, and he will be back onto Yuntason on the relatively healthy Blade Dancer, which is exactly what they're going to be looking for. Daeon Choi putting the damage onto the Finlay before he goes out. The Poison Breath putting him on him, but it's going to be going on the very short distance. Junohan does go onto and chase. Does happen for a little bit of damage, but not much to go with that. No stun happening from that play.
Yeah, very good chase from Junohan, landing that stun, forcing Yuntason to use his tab escape right away.
And somehow we're already at the 5-second mark of the game, and we're going to go to the TKO. Somehow GC Busan Blue made it to the end, and we're going to go to the TKO to decide who won the game between the Busan Derby right now.
And Junohan did get hit by the lightning draw at the end, and look at this, 210,000 damage points right now.
And GC Busan Red does just enough damage, 10,000 more to finish off GC Busan Blue to somehow finish this uncomparable series between GC Busan Blue and Red. And Red are your victors, going in as number seed onto the grand finals 2 weeks later.
Yeah, congrats to GC Busan Red. And I want to just say, I want to just applaud both teams for showing us such a great game. And, you know, in the beginning of this cast, we said, you know, I hope it goes to the best out of 7, you know, to show us, to entertain us with good games. And this is what they did from the start of today's series.
And in no doubt, that was the best series we saw in the Korean finals so far. And GC Busan Blue and Red showing us the quality of Blade&Soul that we have not seen previously. And these two teams have risen to a level where they can show an exquisite exchange of events that have never been observed in the Blade&Soul scene before, and we just have more expectation for these guys now. Now they have showed their at least closer to their full potential what these two teams can be.
Yeah, exactly. And I also want to mention that, you know, regardless of the victors, the first tag, if you remember, the set 3 and the second tag, set 6, you noticed that they were cautiously using their resource points. But at set 7, you saw them go aggressive, both sides, using as many offensive and defensive interferes as possible. And we saw many zeros. And even like starting at the 3 to 2-minute marks, we saw many zeros on both sides where, you know, both teams had no tags, no interferes. And that shows how these teams can adapt depending on the situation, if they want to go aggressive, if they want to play cautiously. And this is how well-rounded they are, both of them.
And this is the monumental Blade&Soul teams that you are looking at here, folks, because offensive style, defensive style, as you mentioned, they can be flexible. They are omni-teams as to what type of style they can play, and just wonderful Blade&Soul that we saw the extent of what a team can show through these tag matches. And the same goes, obviously, we expect already from these great players that one thing can show, but this tag match was the one that was really the sensitive one, and we really had a good observation on to these two teams.
Yeah, it was very good. Like right now, even on the replay, like, you know, they have so many zeros. They get that one interfere point back from the 3-minute to 1-minute mark. But before that, they had all zeros at one point, with Yoon Jae-jung even dying with one tag and 2 interfere points. GC Busan Blue making it even all the way here. It was very amazing.
And what about day.8? I mean,
day.8 was amazing too. Like, he's always amazing.
He was at 5% health and surviving for 1 minute and 30 seconds. Exactly what he did to eventually allow that TKO to even come across. Because if he had died out, obviously it would have been a lot of edge going over to him. But in the end, GC Busan Red does get the victory in this particular Busan Derby. They will be the #1 seed going into the grand final. That will be happening 2 weeks later. But you see these two teams, they're very knowing each other, and they give their congratulations on their backs. But we will be back for the second series of this last day of semifinals. We're going to be back with Kudeta and IDEPS to see which of the losers can make it up to face against GC Busan Blue in next week's time. So we're going to be going to a short break, and we'll be right back. So don't go anywhere, guys.
역사의 산 증인 최성진 모셔보겠습니다.
뭐 다들 아시겠지만 뭐 세계적인 역사 최성진 인사 올리겠습니다. 반갑습니다. 저는 사실상 쿨 계산 이 앞에 있는 한준호 선수처럼 계산 같은 거 안 합니다. 계산 같은 거 없이 그냥 제 느낌 오는 대로 하는 겁니다. 진짜입니다. 저는 저 믿고 생각하시고 오시면 됩니다.
준비하신 좀 이렇게 콤보를 한번 설명을 해주시면서
이 지진이라는 기절은 3초기 때문에 평탑하게 평까지 들어가는 겁니다.
평탑하게 평파 3회
7대.
7대네요.
정확하게 들어가면 7대.
평파 3회 평타까지
자, 한번 해보겠습니다 일단.
네. 오케이. 셋, 넷, 우와! 기가 막히게 깔끔하다.
맞죠.
와, 이거
다르지
깔끔했어요.
않습니까?
오,
다르지
역시
않습니까?
월드 디스트로이어. 잠시만요.
네.
평파 3번이라고 하셨는데 4번 하셨어요.
그래요?
네.
하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 다 7번 아니었나요?
다 7번.
다시 한번 해보세요.
잘 보십시오, 형님.
네.
진짜?
하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 평타.
맞네요. 이게 평탑하게 평타.
자, 여러분 잘 기억하시죠. 3초 기절에는 평파 4회에 평타 한 방 더까지 총 9방이 들어가는 겁니다.
9방이 들어갔던 건가?
7번이 아니에요. 다음 거 보여주시죠.
그럼 일단은 지진하고 격돌까지 한번 보여드리겠습니다.
알겠습니다. 지진의
완벽하고.
격돌까지.
맞죠, 이게? 정확합니까?
정확하진 않았던 게 이게 사실상 기절이 뜨면 안 되고 연장 시에는 기절 문구가 안 뜨거든요.
아니지요. 이 참 모르는 소리 하는데 역사를 진짜 1도 모릅니다. 이게 진짜 0.1초의 칼 타이밍. 이 기공사 유저라 잘 모르시는 것 같은데 이게 지진과 격돌은 진짜 칼 같은 타이밍이 필요하고
알겠습니다.
이런 게 필요합니다.
안녕하세요. 코데타 팀의 팀장을 맡고 있는 김신성이라고 합니다.
아유, 반갑습니다.
다 예능으로 하더라고요, 사람들이. 저는 철저하게 예능으로 하겠습니다.
들어오네.
초보자들도 쓸 수 있는 팁, 그걸 알려드리겠습니다. 빡 빡빡인데 빡빡의 그 틈 있죠.
최성진 냄새가 또 나기 시작하는데 지금.
AM을 잘 맞춰가지고.
AM이요?
네, AIM이나 AM이나
그러면
묻습니다.
이부터 김겸이라고 부를게요.
세금을 차실 분. 이렇게 뒤 굴렀다가 빡 하면 딱 봤거든요. 그렇죠. 이런 게 팀입니다, 여러분들.
Running from the truth, you'll never get too far. In the end, it always catches up with you. Not a day goes by when I don't break the law. Can't escape it even if I wanted to. In a world with so much pain, we're all tied up in chains. Try to pick the lock and you break it free. Because you're because you're because you're not bound by the laws of the universe. If you just if you just if you just follow all your wildest hopes and dreams. I'm the only one who's standing in my way of becoming someone I was meant to be. But I'm quickly learning if I change my mind, that the truth will then become a part of me. In a world with so much pain, we all think we're tied in chains. Time to pick the lock and you break it free. Because you're because you're because you're not bound by the laws of the universe. If you just if you just if you just follow all your wildest hopes and dreams.
Welcome back to more Blade&Soul Korea Finals. And We just got to. I know. I
understand.
have to be honest. I have to.
I understand.
I cannot just overcome the heat that came from the first series. And if you guys haven't watched the first series, be sure to tell your friends and family and your favorite cats to watch the VOD of that, because GC Busan Derby has always been an interesting aspect, and this time it has delivered to the highest quality of Blade&Soul that I've ever seen as a caster. And if you just missed that game, definitely go watch all 7 sets that has happened. So very interesting one, but another interesting series is coming up.
Yeah, and like you said, tell your cats, because the summoner did come out during the singles. Whoop. But anyways, for our next matchup, best out of 7, we do have Coup d'etat versus IDEPS, and the loser of this match is knocked out of the Korea finals, and the winner has to face up against GC Busan Blue.
So right now, the situation we have to consider is all of this Korea finals is really leading up to the World Championship, and there are two factors that leads to the World Championship placement, and one is first and second place of this Korea finals gets a clinch. It's really just a sure spot in the World Championship regardless of your fighting points. And the second factor are those fighting points that we mentioned. The highest garnered points is by GC Busan Blue with the 2,000 fighting points from Season 1 to Season 2. The second place is Coup d'etat, and they're currently at this third place match. So right now, if Coup d'etat does get eliminated, they get eliminated with a lot of fighting points. So IDEPS, they already made it to third place. If they do, it doesn't already clinch them a spot in the World Championship quite yet. So it's going to be a very complicated calculation as to how many fighting points they have. And IDEPS, this is not their last match. This is not their last match that can clinch them in the World Championship. They're going to have to go much further than that to at least get them in second place. So a very important match for IDEPS, but Coup d'etat just getting a win right here would probably be enough to get them a spot in the World Championship.
Exactly. Like you said, Coup d'etat is the second place team with regarding the fighting points, and if they win today and they still place third, they'll get another 600 points, which will give them around 1,850 points.
Okay.
And that is probably good enough if they for them, depending on how GC Busan Red and IDEPS do in the further, so if IDEPS get knocked out with 1,000 points right now and they get 400 points, that's only 1,400. So that's only 1,400. So that Coup d'etat will surely beat IDEPS. So that will secure them even though they place third.
So IDEPS, this is a team that is the underdogs right now, just in terms of fighting points. And if they want to make it to the World Championship, exactly what they do, they're gonna have to get a win right here, and also try to get a win in next week's finals that will be coming up. The third place match, they have to win that one to at least secure a number 2 spot in this Korea finals. And the only way to do that is by winning out Coup d'etat in this first match.
And as you were speaking, I was looking at the fighting point system right now, and easily explained is the 3 teams that make it up today will most likely 99% will be the teams that will be going to the World Championships, because all of them are very close except GC Busan Blue. In regarding fighting points, Coup d'etat, IDEPS, and GC Busan Red are actually very close. So whoever makes it up to the third place will be the third team that will make it up to the World Championship.
So our calculations were not as exact as we thought. So IDEPS winning today might be good enough. And the first match is going to be Shinhancard. He keeps bringing it out. The Soul Fighter has worked, and sometimes it hasn't. And when it hasn't worked, it has been one of the worst classes that we already expected it to be. But when it does work in a couple of occasions, it seemed like one of the best classes available. But Shinhancard is going to bring out the Soul Fighter once again, this time against another very similar aspect we know as Jung Hyun's Force Master. So Game 1 will go underway. It's going to go right underway in Game 1 between Coup d'etat and IDEPS, with Shinhancard on the Soul Fighter is going to be facing off against Jung Hyun on the Force Master for this Game 1 in this best of 7. So let's get the match underway. Let's get it on. This is the first match between IDEPS and Coup d'etat. And as Shinhancard on the Soul Fighter will be the first man out. This is Jung Hyun on that Force Master.
Soul Fighter being half Force Master, half KFM. Will be going up against the full Force Master right now.
Putting on the damage early though.
But
Of course, being a Force Master himself, he doesn't take any damage.
All right, Chi Burst is used. He does get that extra health.
But freezes himself just in time to negate any kind of the damage that could come from it. But Shinhan Kim taking the damage again of the meteor this time, coming from the air. But Shinhan Kim evades from that situation by just backstepping. But
right, Shinhan Kim saving his
the wall bang. The wall bang is happening to Jung Woo-yoon. We know this guy can do that and put continuous amount of damage without stop.
There we go. Marshall stance right now. He's going up close to KFM style, and he gets frost bursted.
Frost
and
burst.
frozen.
Right now, Jung Woo-yoon, he's gonna have to look for more opportunities to go for these plays, but Shinhan Kim, he has immense amount of healing that he could do.
Shinhan Kim is basically
Burst
done.
damage.
He's
is
out
gonna
of
what
time
he has to do. Another series of wall bang is coming through from Jung Woo-yoon, and the second wall bang cannot be escaped, and that is the end for Shinhan Kim's Soul Fighter once again.
Yeah, that is what happens when you are out of tab escapes from a Soul Fighter. Unless, you know, if you use your tab escape, you have to constantly move around as a Soul Fighter to not get CC, because you only have one escape for a Soul Fighter. You don't have a secondary escape, and that is the downside of a Soul Fighter right now.
But people do say the Soul Fighter characteristic is that even without the lack of escapes, they do say that the mobility is so diverse, is that it's almost like a secondary escape to a Soul Fighter. So, you know, like you say, he should have been moving around a lot more, using that mobility to his advantage for Shinhan Kim, but he does not do that. And Jung Woo-yoon just gets the wall bang, and that's a signature move with the Force Master. And once he gets onto you once, that's already a lot of damage. But when he gets it on you a second time, it's gonna be enough damage to finish him off.
Yeah, and you know, knowing Shinhan Kim's personality, he's a very aggressive player, regardless of what character he plays.
Yeah.
So the Soul Fighter, as you all know, has been nerfed a couple of times.
Yeah.
And you know, it's out of the meta right now. But Shinhan Kim, being Shinhan Kim, brought out Soul Fighter and is trying hard. And it's not that he's playing bad. He is playing very well with the Soul Fighter, with the super nerf Soul Fighter. But you know, it's very hard even for Shinhan Kim.
And the biggest question of that ending is that I agree with everything you're saying.
Yeah.
So why don't you just play a different class? Because we know Shinhan Kim, any class that he touches, it's a very formidable class that he becomes. So a Warlock that he's been always playing. And there's so many other classes that he is so good at. But I just keep thinking to myself, and you know, I really want to ask him, but you know, being Shinhan Kim, he has his ego, he has his pride, and whatever, you know, what statement that he does make out, he's gonna keep that until the end, at least until the end of the Korean final. It just seems like he's not gonna back out from the Soul Fighter.
Yeah, exactly. I want to actually ask him when I get the chance, why not just play the Warlock for singles and maybe just bring out the Soul Fighter during tag?
Sure.
Yeah, but anyways, it seems like we are getting ready for the second set. The second singles, Byung-Woo Kim on the Blade Dancer versus Duggan Kang on the KFM.
And we're gonna go with the game 2 between Coup d'etat and IDEPS. And Byung-Woo Kim on the Blade Dancer will be up against Duggan Kang on our first appearance of KFM for today. We'll get the match 2 going right underway. Let's get it on. So many cheers coming in from both sides, and a lot of screaming people. They're really hyped up for this match, and Byung-Woo Kim having in the center of that hype on his new side of Coup d'etat, bringing the initiative first against Duggan Kang on the KFM, bringing us to the second aerial. Like draw the back over the Phantom Frost.
KFM's Emmett Frost is very useful versus a Force Master, a Blade Dancer, and a Destroyer, where you have grabs and Phantom Grips.
Yeah, and frees himself once again, negating that knockdown that could have happened, but Byung-Woo Kim is going to be saving that lightning draw for that first series of combo. Whether he will use it the second time, we'll see. This is the second combo coming out. The second aerial will be intact. The lightning draw doesn't happen again. And so switching it up, really mixing up these conventional combos that the Blade Dancer can pull off.
Duggan Kang is waiting for that time. If he comes close, he can have escape. There we go, triple kick.
Still spinning around
though.
not
looking good. It's basically done.
The damage
you don't
from
want
the KFM.
to give this to a KFM. It's like the assassin. There we go.
And with the lack of escape, there's nothing for Byung-Woo Kim to get out of this, and just continuous damage will clinch the game for Duggan Kang on the KFM, and IDEPS will be up one game again.
Yep, that was very good. Duggan Kang playing the mind game, pretending or making it seem like he's gonna use his tab escape very soon, making Byeonu Kim back up at one point when he could have done some more damage. And instead, the turnaround where Duggan Kang takes out Byeonu Kim's one tab escape. And you know, with that, Duggan Kang just finishes off KFM with so many aerials, so many CCs. If you get rid of one, you know, that one tab escape, you're done.
But through all that ending
Yeah.
is that currently somehow IDEPS has a 2-0 advantage over Coup d'etat. And I would have said, you know, right before this match started, even though Coup d'etat did see a member change with Byeonu Kim coming into the lineup, I would still said Coup d'etat was the stronger side, especially for singles. But having lost 2 singles already with Coup d'etat and them being a lesser of a tag match team with being Coup d'etat, that's going to be a very tough situation going into this game 3 because IDEPS, I wouldn't have expected them to get a 2-0 early, this early, going into this game 3 that's going to be happening very soon.
Exactly. I was expecting Coup d'etat to maybe take the 2 points from singles away because, you know, with Byeonu Kim coming in as a Blade Dancer, forced Hyeogu Kwan to go on the Warlock instead of his 2 mains, Destroyer or the Blade Dancer. So, you know, and if you guys saw yesterday in last week's match when Hyeogu Kwan was on the Warlock, he did not perform as well as we wanted him to. So we'll have to see within that one day from yesterday if Hyeogu Kwan's Warlock has improved as a team player or not.
And we are going to get the first appearance of Hyeogu Kwan on that Warlock, as you mentioned right here on the screen. Shinhancard Kim is going to bring out the Soul Fighter as we expected. But Byeonu Kim, the only class that he can play, the one that is registered under his name, is the Blade Dancer. So it's going to force Hyeogu Kwan to get away from his main and go for these secondary picks. And that's what he went with the Warlock this entire tournament of Korea Finals. He's going with it again, but how this is going to turn out in the actual results, we're going to have to find out. This is against IDEPS.
Yeah, and if you guys have noticed, the KFM that, you know, just played in the singles, Duggan Kang, is bringing out the Blade Dancer for his tag team. He also mentioned during the interview that, you know, it's not as good, but we'll have to see during this match. Let's get this third set underway. Let's get it on.
We are going to get the first sighting of Shinhancard Kim on the Assassin for the side of IDEPS. He will be the first man out with Shinhancard Kim. Soul Fighter will be the first man out for the side of Coup d'etat though.
Yeah, this time around it's a tag, so he will be out more comfortably. There we go, ground ripple connecting, forcing Shinhancard Kim to use his Lotus of Escape and his Tab Escape right away.
Wow. Shinhancard Kim trying to put in that damage, but the Soul Fighter is really outing him in that department. Putting in a lot of damage himself. Shinhancard Kim trying to do some work onto Shinhancard Kim. He has no answers for it yet.
Shinhancard Kim doing some damage, constantly doing damage. Shinhancard Kim taking a lot of damage, forced to tag out.
Probably what he was counting on this entire time, but Shinhancard Kim, I mean, he has to do a lot with the Soul Fighter, a lot more than what he's shown so far to get a win for his side.
Exactly. And it seems like he's playing better on a harder situation. When it was like a 2v1, he was enduring that by himself. I don't know, maybe we have to make, during singles, make it a 2v1 for Shinhancard Kim.
he likes to perform under pressure, Shinhancard Kim, and this guy has done well when the everything was on the line, and right now a little bit is on the line because they are down 2-0. Shinhancard Kim is back on full health. Once again, very conventional characteristic of what a Soul Fighter can be, but it is up against Jung Yoon, who also can heal himself back up.
Oh, getting pulled back in. Oh, getting pulled. All right, nothing too much happening right now. They're both on the Force stance. The Force Master is always there. There we go, ground with the lands, but the back is showing for Jung Yoon. The defensive interfere has to come in.
Yeah, and it does have to come in from Hyeogu Kwan on that Warlock. It does come in. Yeah, but Shinhancard Kim is going to look for this next 10 seconds to get a free tag point in, which they'll really like on the side of Coup d'etat. They'll be ahead in terms of resources, whereas IDEPS has already used their first point. Bring Jung Yoon in.
Perfect timing.
Defensive interfere coming in from Shinhancard Kim on the Assassin. Jung Yoon is going to look for the chase as soon as he comes in, but also the Frost Burst.
Yeah, and the Force tag did happen, so they did save their tag point. IDEPS did use one tag point, so it's not too much of a big difference right now. But Hyeogu Kwan is out on the Warlock. Let's see how he will perform today.
And he has to perform a lot better than he has before because they're going to be relying on this Warlock utility to really go for the damage as well as the utility that can provide. But going for first, Duggan Kang does go on the Blade Dancer onto the lightning draw, putting in early damage onto Hyoko Kwon. Familiar takes very little damage. It goes back down on cooldown.
And Hyoko Kwon's tab escape does come back, but no Familiar right now. He has to just endure this until the cooldown comes back.
No body swap ability being possible, but gets him into the air now. This might be the first series of damage coming from Hyoko Kwon.
Defensive interfere forces Hyoko Kwon to use his tab escape as well.
And it's definitely cut short from Hyoko Kwon, who probably wanted to put a lot more damage than that, but Sound Kim coming on the assassin kicks the Familiar for a little bit of health damage.
Nice. All right, Hyoko Kwon, it seems like he has practiced, or it's his day. He is playing way better than he has previously.
It definitely seems a lot more stable, if I can say anything, and he has been under dangerous situations in previous matches with that Warlock, but in today's matches, he's been keeping relatively safe while putting a little bit of damage onto his opponents.
Reach. Okay, maybe blocking a lot. 10 seconds left for Hyoko Kwon to be force tagged out.
Yeah, then Jung Woo-yoon gets that interfere, trying to come in with an offensive effort, but not coming from it yet.
Sang-ho Kim trying to make something out of this before the force tag happens, and the force tag will happen with Sang-ho Kim in shackles.
And the shackles avoiding any kind of chasing opportunity on the side of Sang-ho Kim, but Kim does come back out on the Soul Fighter, putting in that damage, trying to, but actually gets in the aerial himself. Oh, there's going to be on the knockdown onto the lightning jaw, putting in good damage on the Shinhancard Kim. That is going to accumulate towards the damage chart. That will happen in the end, but like I said, it is the Force Master and the Soul Fighter that will heal themselves back up just continuously, and that will be the difference maker as to, if we'll get a KO win or if we're going to go all the way out for the damage chart.
Yeah, but it seems like it's only been 4 minutes, and Coup d'etat is forcing IDEPS to use so many of their resources right now. Jung Woo-yoon is already out of interfere points. Same thing with Sang-ho Kim being out of tag points. So for the next 2 minutes and 40 seconds, they're not going to get any more interfere points back, so they have to use their points cautiously.
The resources definitely add an advantage for Coup d'etat, but Shinhancard Kim, after that tab escape, for the time being, 20 seconds is what he has to stall. If he wants to go for an offensive effort later on, he's not going to back down. Like you say, he is the aggressive player we know. Assassin Sang-ho Kim putting that Bombard and the Poison Breath, 2 series of Bombard actually putting it in the damage, but not much coming from it.
Tab escape used by Jung Woo-yoon.
Oh, the ultimate.
The ult is used.
Jung Woo-yoon.
Oh, still goes in the aerial.
Wow, even with freezing the arena, he still goes up in the air, taking that damage from the Warlock, but
Yep, Sang-ho Kim comes in. All right, they are 0-0. There's 2 players with zeros on their board right now for their resources. It's not good when there's still 2 minutes left until that 3-minute mark.
And very true, and Coup d'etat is completely wealthy on the amount of resources they have. They have 2 1-2 tag points, and they have just 4 interfere points altogether. So many play-making opportunities that they have with Coup d'etat, and Sang-ho Kim along the side of IDEPS have very little defensive efforts to counter that kind of plays, but let's see if it happens though, because they have 1 minute 30 seconds left before everybody gets the interfere points back.
All right, Sang-ho Kim is playing very cautiously because he doesn't want to get knocked down from Shinhancard Kim's tab escape.
Breath. The Bombard. The Bombard and the Poison Breath has been continuous for Sang-ho Kim, but not too much great effect. Shinhancard Kim trying to put in the damage, but at the same time, use a tag point actually, bring Daniel Kim out on Blade Dancer. We haven't seen much of this guy yet, but how he's going to continue, we have to see.
Yeah, and he is from G-Touring, and he moved into Coup d'etat. Let's see how well he copes. He has been playing pretty well consistently, but he hasn't shown us too much of a crazy super play yet.
And no critical play until now. The second aerial is going to give Shinhancard Kim all the free damage for all those 5 seconds that he came in for the interfere. So the best use of the interfere already, and that's going to be enough to finish out Sang-ho Kim on the assassin. He had no tag point to get out of that play, so this is where it is beginning of it. The ultimate coming from the Warlock, not enough to finish out the Blade Dancer, but just already we know how much of a disadvantage this right now is. In 30 seconds is where they're going to try to finish everyone off from the side of Coup d'etat onto the IDES, because they're going to try to do everything before the interfere points come back.
Yep, there is 15 seconds left until the interfere points come back. However, the major damage dealer.
Oh,
gosh.
The Blade Dancer and the Shinhancard Kim Soul Fighter. This is the combo that they have built their composition upon. Just second aerials that can come from the Blade Dancer with free damage you can put for that 5 seconds. That's exactly what you're trying to do.
And he does get his lightning draw back.
Oh, but he doesn't use it though.
No, the interfere comes in from Duggan Kang, pulls him away with the Phantom Grip. And Hyokwan takes some damage.
Oh, the lightning draw, putting it back.
Oh, yeah, gives him all the health
Putting
back.
the health all the way back. So KO, just the far-sighted. And once again, and Jong Yoon still has to survive, though he doesn't have a defensive interfere that he can rely on.
Yeah.
That's the
Oh,
stall on,
jeez.
but the Warlock does put him into the air, putting in the damage onto him, but he's gonna have no heal opportunities for the time being. So Jong Yoon has to be a little bit careful.
And as I was saying before, when that super Byung-Woo Kim's double aerial with Shinhancard
Yeah.
combo happened, you know, okay.
Oh, that's
Jong
gonna
Yoon
be
knocked out.
enough to put the Warlock enough damage onto Jong Yoon to finish him off, and Dougie Kang on the Blade Dancer will be the last man standing.
But
But
anyways, as I was saying, Sang-Ho Kim, the major damage dealer, has been knocked out first.
Yeah.
So even if it does go down to the TKO, it is
Yeah.
not looking good for IDEPS at all right now.
and definitely you have to accumulate those damage points near the end, but without Sang-Ho Kim, a free Blade Dancer ultimate actually does
Lands,
hit
yeah.
near the end though. Going to be sending him out. Dougie Kang goes for it all, putting the lightning draw to the Phantom Grip.
Yeah.
Trying to put as much damage as can, exactly what you're talking about, because ending you have to talk about the damage they have to accumulate if they can stall up for the next 1 minute. That is it. A free Blade Dancer ultimate that is going to finish him off, and that's done, and that's going to be a win going on for the coup d'etat.
A beautiful finish by
Yeah.
Byung-Woo Kim. The MVP of this tag match is Byung-Woo Kim right now.
Very much.
Amazing plays. As we were just talking during the match, saying, you know, Byung-Woo Kim has been playing consistently, but hasn't shown anything, you know, to remember him by. And
As soon as you say that.
And that started happening.
As
You heard me.
soon as you say that, he brings him to the area, brings Shingan Kim onto the interfere with that Soul Fighter, and when you can get two easy knockups out from the Blade Dancer, and Shingan Kim just get that free damage out from the Soul Fighter is exactly what he did for 2 times in a row, and that was already so much damage that IDEPS could not really handle for themselves. And like I said, but I think we have to go back to the lack of resource points that you already used up too early in the game.
Yeah, and I don't want to say they wasted it, because, you know, at teams that are in the semifinals, they aren't new players. They're not beginners. So, you know, the fact that IDEPS was lacking the resources, it means that coup d'etat was, you know, putting them to the corner, making them, forcing them to use their defensive interferes, making them use their tag point to tag out because they're in dangerous situations. So it means overall, coup d'etat was playing a very hard game on IDEPS right now.
And definitely IDEPS, we saw their interfere points usually being used for defensive purposes instead of the offensive interfere that we seldom see, but that just means that coup d'etat has been dominating and the way they played out this this tag match that they have showed, but IDEPS could not handle this situation. They had to just use out all that interfere points and even the tag points just because they were on such low health. And all that really accumulated to near the end, right across the 3-minute mark, when they really just coup d'etat just turned everything on for that series of damage that we saw with the Blade Dancer and the Soul Fighter.
And I'm going to be honest right now, we've been complimenting them, but now the only player on coup d'etat that has to step up is Hyokwan on the Warlock. Because, you know, if Hyokwan was on the Blade Dancer or the Destroyer, I would never say this, ever. I wouldn't even think about saying it, but Hyokwan's Warlock, today it was better than the previous matches. However, more could be done. More could
There
be
you see
done.
the posters on the screen. That is the beautiful poster of coup d'etat. These fans want coup d'etat to make it to the World Championship and represent Korea at its finest. But right now, with 2 points being gathered on both sides, right now it's just currently even despite the dominating win that coup d'etat has shown. So coup d'etat, if they want to get a win in this series, they're going to have to look for a few wins in this next series of singles and maybe just carry that on to more wins in the tag, but we're going to have to see how this goes.
Okay, so now finally we have Hyokwan on the Destroyer, and we have Sang-Ho Kim on the Assassin.
Definitely,
so, So many might say the Assassin may have the advantage, but again, Hyokwan's Destroyer is nothing to be messed with.
Definitely, he's one of the best destroyers out there. It's just unfortunate that he can't play it with the composition that the current coup d'etat does have with Byung-Woo Kim entering the lineup. But getting back on his comfort pick with the destroyer with Hyokwan. But Sang-Ho Kim, I have to say, he has been playing very well in today's series. So he has to step up if he wants to get more points towards IDEPS, but this is going to be seeing Sang-Ho Kim on the Assassin, whether he can pick up a point after that loss in the tag match. We're going to have to see the next match between coup d'etat and IDEPS coming right your way. Let's get it on.
Fans are going crazy.
And Kudeta with Shingan Kim and Hyuk-Kwon, they have garnered so many fan bases over the years, and they have been just many years of veterans, but Hyuk-Kwon, all these cheers coming for him.
Yep.
Gonna have to do well to gather one more point after the good win in this game 3 in the tag match, but need a lot more points to really secure their win in this series against IDEPS.
Yeah, the start was good, forcing Sang-Ho Kim to use his tab escape off the map, but there's already 15 seconds left for it to come back.
Yeah. Hyuk-Kwon, he just needs one more stun, but Landmine is gonna negate him from that. The Poison Breath putting a little bit of damage onto Hyuk-Kwon. Body swap onto the stun. Gonna put him into the aerial. Most likely the webbing is gonna come through. And Sang-Ho Kim have to go for something else here, but being a little bit passive for now, going onto that stealth mode while Hyuk-Kwon is just spinning around. The Bombard is going to be coming in, putting in the damage. Actually gets stunned up himself, which is going to be forcing the tab escape out of Sang-Ho Kim.
Puts out the flower and goes aggressive once again. There we go, the stun.
The stun does come out. The Judgment Clay combo might come through. Another stun will initiate another series of damage, but a good stun coming from that lack of escape. Sang-Ho Kim on the Assassin, getting the damage from the Destroyer as well.
Yeah, the flower is down. The flower disappeared. He has to put it down. There we go. Puts it down again. Hyuk-Kwon will get his tab escape back in 2 seconds.
Sang-Ho Kim trying to make something work, but Hyuk-Kwon really not allowing the distance.
That reflect right there by Hyuk-Kwon forced him to use the leaf, but Sang-Ho Kim staggering his escapes very well, gets his tab escape back once again.
Sang-Ho Kim can use that tab escape if he does choose to, but the Bombard coming up, trying to put the damage on the Hyuk-Kwon, but this is the start of it. He might have to use the escape now, which he does, and that might be the second series of opportunity for Hyuk-Kwon to put in that additional stun.
No.
This might be the beginning of it. The punch to the face. If he gets another stun up, and that might be the finish for the Assassin of Sang-Ho Kim. Gonna bring him down. This is the Hyuk-Kwon's Destroyer, everyone, and he can easily beat out an Assassin 1v1.
Yeah, they are both out of all of their escapes right now. 10 seconds for Hyuk-Kwon, 14 seconds for Sang-Ho Kim's tab escape, 3 seconds for Lotus of Escape right now. So they are kind of playing it laid back.
So much health difference though between the two sides. Definitely Hyuk-Kwon has been the winner of these trades between the two sides. But actually gonna be Sang-Ho Kim trying to look for the counterattack here, but doesn't happen quite yet. It's a stun up.
All right, forcing Hyuk-Kwon to use all of his escape.
Yeah.
Sang-Ho Kim still has his tab escape, so he can play aggressive. Once he see on Hyuk-Kwon, he can do 100-0 or 80-0.
And we've seen it multiple times where just one more stun onto a tab escape less opponent is going to get you enough damage to finish your opponent off in an instant. But
it's going to happen.
The stun doesn't come out actually. Look for a better opportunity to make this happen, but Hyuk-Kwon really disallowing that happening, but it's going to be the start of it. The stun does come up, but now he gets his tab escape back onto the webbing.
Left.
Yeah.
But Hyuk-Kwon did heal up a little bit, so we'll have to see what happens at the end.
Oh, putting in the last. That might be enough damage to finish him off, though. Damage chart will.
Usually an assassin does not lose a TKO.
It's true, but he does get the heal act from the Destroyer, but he did put in a lot of damage, and the Destroyer most likely.
There we go.
And the assassin just wins out by
900.
a 900 difference.
Wow.
It was actually 800, 800 couple tens,
Yeah.
and that wasn't that big of a difference. It was a very close match. We thought the last series of damage put in by Hyuk-Kwon would have been enough, but like I said, the Destroyer does heal back most of his health, and it's just the health bars are misleading, just like the Force Master, probably to a lesser extent. So in the end, the Assassin does get out the win, and IDES picks up another point after losing that tag match, so they're going to be feeling very good about themselves.
Yeah, like you said, the health bars are very misleading, and the damage put in by Hyuk-Kwon was a lot, but like I said, rarely an assassin will lose in a TKO.
But that just goes to show you how incredible Hyuk-Kwon was on the early game. Putting in a lot of damage from the Destroyer, getting that stuns up, and even disallowing from Sang-Ho Kim to make a play onto him.
Yeah.
He barely had any situation where the tag escape has been used by Hyuk-Kwon until the very end. But that just shows you how much distance he's keeping from it while putting the offensive efforts intact as well.
Yeah, the damage chart being so close when it's an assassin versus a Destroyer matchup.
That's already incredible.
Yeah, it just shows Hyuk-Kwon's Destroyer. If you gave him maybe a couple more seconds, he might have just won it with the KO, but unfortunately it did go down to a TKO against an assassin. So,
and to be fair, I think Hyuk-Kwon did have some opportunities while Sang-Ho Kim did not have the tab escape to finish him off if he had that one more stun. But didn't get that allow, and good of Sang-Ho Kim to disallow that play from happening, so survives near the end and gets that TKO onto his favor. So now, IDEPS is up 3-2, and the next singles will be underway.
Yeah, and we don't know who will be coming out yet. But yeah, the fifth match is a single, the last single of this series, and it is 3-2 right now. Pretty even. It's closer than the first matchup against GC Busan Blue
Definitely.
versus Red.
Yeah, and Game 5 will tell us the story whether we'll skip Game 6 because if Kudeta wins out this game and it becomes 3-3, we will skip Game 6 and go right on to one more tag match. We worth 3 points to finish up the series. We're just trying to wait to see who makes up to the play, but Hyogo Kwon, the Blade Dancer, he's trying to play every single class that he's always wanted to, but couldn't.
Yes.
Because he had to play the one. It's just like, oh, the inner Blade Dancer, the inner Destroyer in me wanted to come out so much, and his teammates are giving him an opportunity to play both of his main classes.
Yeah, I'm very happy that they are allowing Hyogo Kwon to actually, loosen up his hand on the Blade Dancer and the Destroyer because, he is being forced to play the Warlock for the tag team. So, why not give him some slack right now?
Sure.
Just because, if they lose this matchup, it doesn't mean they're done out of the tournament yet.
But it is Hyogo Kwon on the Blade Dancer. He has a strong opponent with Jungwoo on the Force Master. We're going to get the last singles of the series between Kudeta and IDEPS right underway. So let's get the match underway. Let's get going. Definitely Hyogo Kwon gets his wishes come true as he gets to play both the Destroyer and the Blade Dancer in one series. Good job to him. So he's up against Jungwoo though. Very tough opponent.
His former teammate from last year.
True.
They were on the same team called Winners with Shingyung Kim, Hyogo Kwon, and Jungwoo Yoon. But this time around, they are facing up against each other as opponents.
Showing that finesse of the Blade Dancer, showing that initiate combo. Coming in from that second aerial.
Jungwoo Yoon is kicking him in the face.
While he is Phantom Grip.
Yep. Okay, giving him some health back.
Yeah, but Hyogo Kwon is relatively healthy as well, so it's currently pretty even in terms of health bars. But if it does go to TKO, we know that the Force Master will be at an extreme disadvantage. All the healing that it has.
Yeah, if it does go down to the TKO, and I want to see some, I want to hear some things, but that aerial, this is the start of Jungwoo Yoon's combo.
Second aerial coming in, that's already so much damage coming in from Jungwoo Yoon.
Yes, Phantom Grip throws it
So
to the wall.
The bang,
No
wall
escape,
bang,
it
the wall
is
bang,
done.
the wall bang. It's
done.
going to be good enough to finish him off, and Jungwoo Yoon puts out a signature move one last time after Hyogo Kwon has already used his Tab Escape, and the wall bang is good enough to finish him once again. It's like a cheat move, it almost seems like.
Well, a Force Master can't do anything else. That is one of his, that is why it's an octagon with the walls. Because if it's unlimited space, what can a Force Master do?
Literally nothing.
It's smart of Jungwoo Yoon to actually take advantage of that. It's not a cheat. It's not a bug, really. If there was a bug, NCSoft would have fixed it years back.
And if it was a bug, every other Force Master we saw in the Challengers team would have done
that. Yeah.
They didn't do that. So we know that it's just Jungwoo Yoon just being godly at this Force Master class. So showing that once again against a very strong side of Hyogo Kwon on the Blade Dancer. So right now, IDEPS is seemingly up 5-3 now. So it's going to be Game 6 really going to be happening, and Game 7 might happen.
Yeah. So if IDEPS wins this set 6 attack, which is worth 2 points, IDEPS will take away the victory, and Kudeta will be knocked out of the tournament.
Yeah, it's very similar to the situation of GC Busan Blue and Red, where it was 5-3 before, and just one more win could have really decided everything. But just right now, we have to see how this next match will become, because Kudeta has to get one more win, just like GC Busan Blue did. But just 2 more points, exactly what they need to get them onto Game 7. But if they do lose out in this one, as you say, Kudeta will be officially eliminated from Blade&Soul Korea Finals. But IDEPS has a chance to do it now with this Game 6 coming up, the tag match. Could decide it all for the side of IDEPS.
Yeah, but if Kudeta does want to make it up or stay in the game, they have to win this one and set 7. Whereas IDEPS could just, they might lose this one, but they could win set 7. So they have a little bit more slack right now compared to Kudeta.
And definitely we saw in the previous series, it was exactly the same situation where GC Busan Blue had to win 2 tags in a row to get the series win. They couldn't get it done. They won set 6, but they couldn't win with set 7. So Gonna have to see if Kudeta can make that accomplishment happen.
Yeah, it seems like we are still getting ready for the tag team match. It's a potential last match of today and this semifinals. And you know, I hope they are all prepared.
We're gonna go right on to game 6 though between Kudeta and IDES. It could be the last match if IDES do pick out a win here. Whether Kudeta can keep up the fight going and gets us to the game 7, we'll have to see. Let's get the match underway. Let's get it on. Kind of want to enjoy this moment of hearing this cheers coming from the crowds, but I think so many people really want Kudeta to make it up, but they're at the slimmest of hopes now. They have to win 2 straight sets of tag matches in order to do that, but Kim is going to be the first man out trying to make that accomplishment a possibility. The damage from the Meteor.
But Jung Ho-yoon healing up, but he did take quite a lot of damage, maybe 20 to 30% damage, but he did heal back up, so you just have to remember that Jung Ho-yoon did take some damage.
Okay, so that's going to all accumulate towards the damage chart if it does go to TKO, which we've seen a lot of in this series that we've seen.
Tab escape has been used. Frostburst, continues it into the Windstorm combo. Shinhancard Kim, look at this Soul Fighter.
Right now, Shinhancard Kim, he knows that Jung Ho-yoon still doesn't have his escapes available. He's going to go aggressively. If he gets one good opportunity, he can get the series of damage onto him, and Jung Ho-yoon. Be careful at the same time. He does put him on the Phantom Grip. Shinhancard Kim doesn't have that escape available, so the lightning draw coming in from the side of Daegun Kan coming in.
Hyeogo Kwan's defensive interfere came in a little bit late, but you know, coming in a little bit late, doing a lot of damage to Jung Ho-yoon was worth it.
Jung Ho-yoon still at the little bit of health that he has to work with. He wants to keep alive for now. He does freeze himself. No health back this time around. Kim waiting for the opportunity to put more damage onto him. This is his opportunity. Goes for the initiate. Put that damage onto Jung Ho-yoon. Jung Ho-yoon still has that his tab escape. If he's still using it, he just uses it. So he is lacking that tab escape. So Shinhancard Kim does come back out onto the field using that tag point early. Jung Ho-yoon without that tab escape available, he felt the danger.
Yes, Shinhancard Kim just uses tab escape and he does not back out. Saves his tag point for the force tag coming in.
So free tag coming over to Kudeta, so that's 1 resource point saved. Yep, by the side of Kudeta, whereas IDES had to use their first tag point to bring out Shinhancard Kim.
The interfere points are even. They both use 2 interfere points on both sides right now, so only that 1 tag point difference right now.
Shinhancard Kim, he did extremely well in Game 3 in the first tag of the series, but will he do it again? Because that's the question we have to ask ourselves if they want to get a win against this IDEF side.
Ooh, the back roll chase, forcing Shinhancard Kim to use his tab escape and his Lotus of escape. Shinhancard Kim, he is stepping up his game, or he has already stepped up his game.
We're already past that phase now because he has already shown a wonderful Game 3. He just has to show 1 more, and hopefully they can get a win out in this tag match. In the end, tag matches are the most important because they gather you the most points. You can win all the singles in a series, but if you lose out every tag, you will be the loser out in the end. So Kudeta having won the first tag in this series, Shinhancard Kim and his team is going to try to look for this a good opportunity to bring out another win here.
Yeah, and overall, it seems as if Kudeta is doing a little bit better in damage charts because, yes, Shinhancard Kim does heal, but Jung Ho-yoon has healed up a lot too. And there is 10 seconds left for Shinhancard Kim to be force tagged out, 20 seconds for Shinhancard Kim. Let's see who will make their first move.
It just seems like Shinhancard Kim will take that free tag. There's no reason for him to use that tag point to get out. Trying to distance himself.
Ooh, he lands that knockdown before he gets force tagged out. Very well played by Shinhancard Kim.
So knocks Shinhancard Kim down before he does go back onto that timer. Shinhancard Kim has to distance himself as well because he does go into that chase.
Forces Hyeogo Kwan to use his tab escape right away.
So it's a little bit of a mistake from Shinhancard Kim. Didn't distance himself as much as he should have, knowing his timer was running out. So Shinhancard Kim taking good advantage of that pitch situation, putting a lightning draw now to the Warlock. Damage.
Distortion gets his tab escape back. Hyeogo Kwan has to take advantage of this situation where Donkey Kang is out of his tab escape, and he is trying to do so.
Oh, this is a chance for the Warlock now to put in the damage, but Jungwoo Yoon comes in
Yep.
for the defensive interfere, freezes his teammate to negate that damage. But a second series of damage coming in from Hyungwoo Kwon. Although this will not be negated, and the first man is already out for items, and Kudeta is up 3-2.
Wow, this is Kudeta. I was saying that, you know, Kudeta is the weaker on the tag, but it seems like it's the opposite.
Oh, putting in that damage though from Sao Kim on the Soul Fighter, but already they're
Tags
going
out.
back to this Blade Dancer. They know exactly
Yeah.
what they're gonna do. They're trying to look for
Yeah.
that wombo combo
Yeah.
with the Blade Dancer, putting in the aerial Soul Fighter. Shinhancard still has 2 interfere points that he can choose to use.
Yep.
He does go for it.
And Donkey Kang does die with 2 tag points and 2 interfere points.
So many
I
resources.
always, you know, reiterate the points that they are left with
Yeah.
because it's
There
so
we go.
important.
Byeonu Kim coming in, but the
Oh.
reaction interfere
Oh.
coming in from both sides. The Meteor is going to put in a lot of damage onto Byeonu Kim.
That was actually the Force Master's ult, but it didn't do too much actually because they were able to backstep out of it. But that was amazing animation.
And we know exactly what Byeonu
Yep.
Kim is going to go for. He's just looking for
Yeah,
that one
we're
opportunity
waiting.
to get him onto that Vanguard. There you go. Might go for the aerial now.
All right.
Puts him into the spin. And gets the tag in right away. Jungwoo Yoon. It's going to be a lot harder opposition to put him into the aerial. I was going to go for the damage. Putting a wall bang onto 2 opponents now.
All right. Get a little bit more health back. I'm pretty sure with all the damage Jungwoo Yoon has taken, he would have been dead already. He would have taken 100% damage, but
Yeah.
he has healed up so much. Right?
Mission unaccomplished by Byeonu Kim on that
Yeah.
Blade Dancer. No initiative coming in from the aerial. So forcing Shinhancard Kim to come out using that tag point.
There we go. Defensive interfere.
Oh, the interfere coming in.
Doing some damage to Jungwoo Yoon.
It is, and Byeonu Kim doing a good job.
Yeah.
He was distracted on trying to get Shinhancard Kim, but in the meantime, interfere does come in from Byeonu Kim. Trying to put in the damage onto Jungwoo Yoon, which he does a good job of.
Yeah, time distortion comes in from Hyungwoo Kwon as well, giving Shinhancard Kim his tab escape back.
So Shinhancard Kim can go aggressively in now against this Jungwoo Yoon. He's still out of his tab escape for the next 15 seconds, so gonna go out safely. Use that safety method of using that tag point to go with the Sound Kim back out onto the field, but Shinhancard Kim very comfortable about the situation. He's gonna have to go for the aggressive play. With the second man out, hopefully.
Tab escape is out for Shinhancard Kim. Tags out. Very good choice. They don't waste. They don't wait. Byeonu Kim is out right now with the ult as well.
And
We'll have to
Byeonu
see.
Kim, but still, he still has that aerial opportunity. Shinhancard Kim has 1 more
Yeah.
interfere point, so that wombo combo is what has gotten them the win
the back
in
row
game
chase.
3. They're going to try to look to do it
Oh!
again. The landmine is going to be connecting. Jungwoo Yoon comes in for the defensive interfere if something wants to happen. But that's actually can bring out Hyungwoo Kwon actually going to be back out on the field using that tag point. So Shinhancard Kim and Byeonu Kim, they're both out of the tag points, whereas Jungwoo Yoon and Sao Kim are already out of the tag points as well. So the only interfere points they have is going to be with Sao Kim, but it's the 3-minute mark, and they are going to get all of their interfere points back, 1 each to every player.
Exactly, and Sang Kim does have 2 interferes, so 1 good opportunity with an assassin alive is still doable, even though it is a 2v3 on Idep's side.
And definitely a good thing for IDEX is that the 2 damage dealers are the one that's alive, because, you know, if you were counting on the damage opportunities, this is what they're going to try to do now onto Hyungwoo Kwon. Takes a lot
Tag
of
out.
it. He has to tag out because there's a
Oh,
lot
the
of the
ult. He's
ultimate.
ulting.
It's going to
He's
be coming
ulting.
through. This is
Okay.
just almost enough.
Perfect negate from Jungwoo Yoon right there,
I
right
think-
before it proc.
Yeah, I think that was just the distance limit that he was going for there. He almost would have gotten that damage if that had connected, but Shinhancard Kim is going to be the one out. The Warlock comes for the interfere. It's going to finish up Jungwoo Yoon, and there's no more healing opportunities coming from an interfere. Sound Kim is the only left and
Shinhancard
left
Kim's
alive.
Shinhancard Kim just used the heal ult right there. Healed up to full health. Sang Kim did some damage. No tag, no escape.
but Sang
Shinhancard
Kim-
Kim might die right here.
Sound Kim doing a good job of putting
Okay.
damage. Instant 80% burst damage onto him. Does heal back some of the health from Shinhancard Kim, but good of Sound Kim to stay strong even though they are 2 men behind against the 3-man competition.
All right, Sang Kim still has his stealth.
Yep.
You know, there's still a chance right there.
Okay,
But
let's go for it.
1v3. It is possible. Jinyu Park has done it in the past.
Yes.
A 1v3 legendary play by an assassin. Will Sang Kim be able to pull that off?
Sound Kim hasn't been in the best of forms today in this series, so he has to do a lot better because he needs a win to get just guarantee them this win in the series against Kudeta and make themselves up to the 2nd place.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Sound Kim is out of all of his escapes. One more CC, he might be in danger. And there we go with the CC into the aerial.
Okay, and putting in that damage now. The landmine
Ground
is being
ripple.
planted, but nothing coming
There
from
we
it. The
go,
stun is
Marshall
gonna be had,
stance.
and this might be enough to finish him off. The Shinhancard
Shinhancard
putting in that damage onto him. There's nothing Sound Kim can
Oh my
do. The interfere
gosh.
comes in for that 1 minute mark, and that is enough to finish him off. And they still stay alive, and Kudeta will go to Game 7.
Yeah, that was amazing. Kudeta, like you said, even though you win all the singles, if you lose all the tags, you're going to end up losing.
And Kudeta is at the opposite end of that stick because
Yep.
they have been winning every single tag and lost almost every single singles.
Yeah.
Every single single.
Every single
It
singles.
is grammatically correct, everyone, but that's what is happening. IDEF's been winning the single, but it really doesn't matter when you lose every single tag that you have available. And just already that's 4 points being gathered by Kudeta just for winning 2 matches, and they can just get 3 more points to get them to win in this series.
Yeah, it is tied up now. Last match underway, but let's look at the replay right here. Jung Yoon, like I said, even if they did go down to the TKO, Jung Yoon took so much damage. He took almost 60% health, healed up full health, and he ended up dying. So he died like 1.5 times in health-wise.
Yeah.
So even if they did go down to the TKO, I'm pretty sure it would have gone to the Kudeta side.
Yeah.
But ooh, that aerial by Hyeogu Kwan,
The
that was
warlock
amazing.
damage.
Yeah.
Hyeogu Kwan, like you said, you said he wasn't the one performing on the side of warlock, but this time putting enough damage to knock the first man out, which was crucial
Oh, yeah.
in the continuation of this match, though.
That was very good by Hyeogu Kwan, finally doing something, contributing to his team.
Kudos to him because he was kept alive and putting the damage onto him. Like you see, the second man is being knocked off, so he does get a double kill in this particular tag match.
But I gotta give it to Shinga Kim at the end when it was a 1v1, Shinga
Yeah.
Kim versus Sang Kim. That soul fighting play is just, that's what
Reminds you back of the old days.
Yes, yes. Oh, that soul fighting. Look at his movement. He switches from martial stance to force stance, back to back, doing ground ripples into the windstorm combo. It's just amazing.
It is
Only
a
he
beautiful
can
play.
do that.
And
Only
there
he
you
can.
see the
Yep.
faces of Kudeta. These fans really want them
Yep.
to make it to the World Championship, and to do that they do have to beat out IDEFs, which will clinch them. Like we said, with the fighting points that they already have, they will clinch a spot in the World Championship. So this is their only assignment that they have to overcome. And just winning out this next game in this final set 7 will get them the win here.
Yeah, and I'm so happy that both of the games went to the full set.
Our wishes have been come
Yes,
true.
my wish has been come true, and I am very happy.
But we're going to go to Game 7 very soon. You guys know exactly what's going to be happening. The final set between Kudeta and IDEFs will be coming up to this side. Which team will have their chance in the World Championship by getting that 3rd seed, going up to the next finals, coming right your way. So let's get the match underway. Let's get it on.
All right.
Last set. Last set is on between Kudeta and IDEFs, and this will be for all the marbles. I'm telling you, but these guys are not really looking for the prize pool. They're really looking for a spot in the World Championship.
Yes.
I have to guarantee that that is their mindset going forward.
Ooh, Shinga Kim taking a lot of damage.
From Jung Yoon. Meteor connecting him for about 50% of all that potential damage. Taking most of the damage and forcing out the defensive interfere coming in from the Warlock, getting that time distortion
Oh,
to bring
Hyeogu
them
Kwan
back.
coming in. Another re-knockup by Shinga Kim.
Even that defensive interfere doesn't do to any effect, and Shinga Kim just ignores that and puts the continuing damage on Jung Yoon. But Jung Yoon, guess what? The counter tries to get that damage back, but Shinga Kim, being the soul fighter that he is, he does heal back so much health after taking so much damage as well.
Yeah, they're going back and forth, trading interferes, trading tab escapes right now. Shinga
Okay.
Kim using tab escape is tags out right now. Byung Kim comes in, defensive interfere.
Yep. And the first tag point being used by Kudeta early, and Jung Yoon and the rest of the side of IDEF still have all of their tag points available. They're going to use their first point now. I'm bringing Sound Kim on the assassin. It's done alright, but he's going to have to do better to get them a win here, though.
Exactly, as an assassin, you have to do better. Always, you have to do better.
Yep. And Byung Kim takes a little bit of damage at the end of that skirmish, and this is Sound Kim trying to put in work against the side of Kudeta. He's gonna have to contribute, like we mentioned with that assassin. He's gonna have to be the main DPS reliance for the side of IDEFs. have their
Playing it
chances
very
against
slow
coup
right
d'etat.
now. Yeah, playing it very slow.
Phantom
There you
grip.
go, Phantom Grip happens. He's gonna try to take out his tab escape right now. The
Okay,
defensive
the defensive
interference
interference, yeah, coming from Jung Yoon. I'm trying to go for that defensive play. I saw Silent Kim go up in the area and had to protect him from taking additional damage. Good job of that.
Yeah, they are still having all of their escapes right now. There's another defensive interference right now on coup d'etat side right now.
So already it's only been 2 minutes into the match and so much interfere points have been used.
Yeah.
And this is going to really count towards the late part of the game. We saw this in the GC Busan Derby where the blue and red side really used their resources very, very early. It became a very risky back and forth situation. Let's see, might see a glimpse of that coming right your way
All right, finally.
with this series as well.
Yeah, finally a tab escape has been used. Same thing with Sang-Ho Kim. Both his escapes are out.
Yep.
And Byung-Ho Kim decides to tag out and Hyung-Gu Kwang comes in.
2 attack points being used in the first 3 minutes by coup d'etat. So we're going to have to go for this and try to continue on whether Sang-Ho Kim can make something happen in the next 10 seconds. He's going to be
Yes.
out on the field.
10 seconds or 7 seconds, or his escape comes back nearly the same time. So we'll see what he makes of this.
The defensive interferer, Jung Yoon coming in, trying to negate Hyung-Kwan from putting the damage onto him, but Dugin Kang comes onto the field from that free tag point in. So resource point being saved.
Yep, very well played
On
on
IDEPS.
IDEP side right now. 2 tag points has been used on coup d'etat. So this is different. It's a different start for coup d'etat compared to the 3rd and the 6th match.
Definitely coup d'etat was on the receiving end with the resources they had the advantage of over IDEPS in game 3, but this time around we see IDEPS making the better use of those resources they have available. They did use a lot of interfere points, but you'll get those back in 3-minute time. And since the tag points will be the one that's crucial if we do get to the later parts of the game.
All right, Tetherblade lands, back roll chase does not happen. Shin Kim comes back out, gets Phantom Grip.
As soon as he comes in,
Brings
gets
it
that
to the
Phantom
wall.
Grip. Wing Kang is going to look for something on the Blade Dancer on the ultimate. It's going to be actually the lightning draw coming in. Dugin Kang trying to put some damage onto Shin Kim. Not much damage because he can heal so much of that health back up.
Tab escape has been used for Shin Kim. 25 seconds left for his tab escape to come back. One more tag point for all of coup d'etat right now, whereas IDEPS have 2-2-1 tag points, so it's so much better on IDEPS side right now.
And Dugin Kang, he has 10 seconds to work with, trying to put some damage onto Shin Kim. The aerial does happen. Whether he's going to use the offensive interfere, he doesn't use it yet. Just onto the Phantom Grip, trying to use something from that, but no interfere coming in from the offensive ones. Even through that aerial, the IDEPS does not choose to put in additional damage.
Oh,
that can
ground
choose-
ripple into the windstorm combo. 10 seconds left for that force tag to happen, and the tab escape has been used.
Oh, uses a tag point. Having taken too much damage.
Yep.
Sang Kim is going to come back out on the assassin against Shin Kim.
Yeah, good choice for him to tag out rather than taking more damage from staying out, because they are they do have an advantage with the resource points, IDEPS.
And Hyung Kwan comes into that interfere, using that time distortion to get that tab escape right back onto Shin Kim.
Yep. Go Shin Kim try to take out his stealth with the ground ripple, but it does not connect.
Taking it easy for now.
Yep.
Really know the situation that is pretty even across both sides. So Shin Kim, he just needs one good opportunity to put in that immense amount of the opportunity damage that he knows he can get. Just to get the right situation onto him, but the webbing does come through for Sang Kim onto that bombard. Shin Kim is going to have to distance himself with that damage coming in. Chase is not going to be happy for Sang Kim. He's still on that stealth mode while he was coming in.
All right, Sang Kim out of both his escapes might be forced to tag out very soon after this defensive interfere coming in by Jung Yoon.
Okay, so Jung Yoon does come in for that interfere.
There we go.
Comes in for the tag. Using that 3rd tag point being used by IDEPS. Coming in, using the meteor to put damage with the Blade Dancer ultimate. Putting in good damage onto Hyung Kwan.
Another ult right now being shot.
Wow, but it's actually going to be missing this time around. So second series of ult chain is what was efforted by the side of IDEPS. Didn't happen throughout. Jung Yoon's ultimate that from the Force Master didn't happen that time around.
Yeah, Byung-Ho Kim and Jung Yoon both healed up a little bit right now. They're going back at it. They both have their tab escapes available.
Kim, he's still on that Blade Dancer trying to make something happen for his teammate. He doesn't have the wombo combo opportunity with his teammate Shin Kim. He doesn't have interfere points available. Shin Kim is back out onto the field. Both of his teammates still do not have any tag points. He'll be reaching the 3-minute mark very, very soon. So a chance for IDEPS to really stall out their time, but Shin Kim's not going to allow the chance to do that. They're taking the damage actually on the other side. Now Kim comes in from that tag point on the side of IDEPS, and the time distortion does come in.
Oh, all right. He does get his tab escape back right away.
Yep.
Shinhan Kim is enduring this by himself. He is the only one with the tag.
Okay, so the ultimate
Oh,
coming
the
from
offensive!
the...
All right, it hit
Little
him
bit.
like a little bit, but that was the offensive ult for the Soul Fighter. Unfortunate that it did not connect as much as we wanted to, but he's, you know, it was worth a shot.
7 seconds is all they have left until that 3-minute mark
Yep.
where every player will get that interfere points back. That will create a good chance for opportunities. Go for that reaction in 2v2 hopefully. See, Shinhancard can still going aggressively regardless of the situation. Kang forcing out the defensive interfere, coming in from the items and poison breath onto the damage. It's gonna be lightning jaw, putting onto the bombard, just trying to put as much damage onto Shinhancard while he doesn't have that escape available, but not as much damage as probably what they wanted for the interfere.
Yeah, and 2 players with the tag points are out on the field, and finally Duggan Kang uses the final tag point on IDEP's side, as well as Shinhyun Kim.
So now, in terms of tag points, they're completely
Ult,
different.
ult,
Warlock,
ult,
ult, will it be now? Oh, he just misses himself.
I saw you get excited.
It's a sneaky step back from Jungwoo Yoon. He
Yeah.
can quickly get himself back onto that distance to negate that the Warlock ultimate. So,
Yep.
Jungwoo Yoon, good job of negating that damage. That would have been a KO for him, obviously.
Yeah, both out of tab escapes, playing it very passive right now. They all have their interfere points, and in another minute, they will get another interfere point as well. So we'll have all the way to the aerial.
Yeah, as the reaction 2v2 is coming through, but no significant damage coming into either side. Really trying to make something out. Another reaction 2v2 coming out. This time they're trying to make something happen.
Ult is happening.
Both sides, they have their escapes available, but only the Blade&Soul ultimate coming from Byung Kim doing only the significant amount of damage coming in from coup d'etat.
Yeah. And Jungwoo Yoon is taking a lot of damage right now. He frees himself to negate the full combo.
Yeah.
However, he did take some of the damage.
Okay, so Hyogo Kwon does get Phantom Grip, but escapes right away.
Alright, now they are both out of escapes, and Hyogo Kwon is in a dangerous spot right
The
now.
wallbang. Well, wallbang is going to be trying to go for this. The second
knock
knockout
up.
is going to be happening. There's no chance for him to be safe. There are no interfere points from the side of
Yes!
but somehow
Byung
it's going to
Kim.
be good enough for Byung Kim to finish him off. He seems like he was taking the damage, but actually good to finish him off.
Oh, Hyogo Kwon is
second
finished off.
consecutive KO coming from the side, this time from coup d'etat, and now they're 2v2 even with the health bar. Very misleading as to what the calculation could be.
Yeah, right now, Byung Kim having one interfere point. When Hyogo Kwon was in the area, Jungwoo Yoon was focused on Hyogo Kwon, and Byung Kim just interfered in and finished off Jungwoo Yoon. And when that happened, Sang-ho Kim interfered in with that one interfere point that he had and finished off Hyogo Kwon back to back. Such a close game right now. 40 seconds left.
It is an extremely close game. They might go to the TKO if no significant damage come out from either side. But there's 30 seconds left in play. They're going to try to look for the super play, trying to put in as much damage as they can to really get themselves a favor in this damage chart that will be coming in the next 20 seconds as we speak.
Yes, this is the match that will decide who will make it up and who will get knocked out of this tournament.
And this is all Shinhancard Kim and Sang-ho Kim who has to put the much amount of damage as they can. Oh, this is good for Sang-ho Kim, putting in that last bit of damage from that stun. He has no escape, Shinhancard Kim. He can't get away from it. So this might be Sang-ho Kim putting in the damage. Last 2 seconds, and that's going to be Bombard. It will not connect. Bombard is going to be happening after the timer, but in the end, Sang-ho Kim pulled out the last exertion of damage from the side of Items, so it might be Items that picks out the win, and there's they go. And coup d'etat is knocked out of the tournament, and Items moves into the next week of finals with as the number 3 seed.
Yeah, and 100,000 more damage on the chart. That is what happens when you have an assassin, and he stays alive until the end of the game.
And great game shown by both sides. Coup d'etat, they have definitely put up a fight, and this man on the screen, Shinhancard Kim, he has done his best on the underwhelming Soul Fighter, trying to make that work out. In the singles, it didn't work out a couple of occasions, but in the tag, he definitely contributed in a way that really boosted up the confidence of his teammates.
Yeah, congrats to IDEPS. Very unfortunate for coup d'etat. Shinhancard Kim has never not gone to a world champion. But like I said before, it's probably the 3 teams that are left after today's semifinals that will be going to the world champions. We never know, but that is most likely the case.
Yeah.
But I don't know, Shinhancard Kim, you know, being stubborn and staying on the Soul Fighter, I don't know if that was the right choice.
Yeah.
But you know, it is his choice. and maybe he was more comfortable with playing the Soul Fighter. He didn't play bad. It's just that maybe
We're thinking he would have done better with
Yeah.
the other classes.
Yeah, so I don't know. That's just my assumption from seeing Shinhyun Kim play many classes throughout the previous years. But like I said, regardless of how Kudeta performed, IDEPS also keeping Sang-Ho Kim alive was the key point. Regardless of how well he's playing or not, an assassin staying alive, doing that constant damage little by little, even though it's not a 100-0 combo, an assassin does immense amount of damage. Just keep him alive, let him do little bits of damage, and you'll end up winning in a TKO.
You know, we're trying to say how unfortunate it is that Kudeta is disqualified,
Yeah.
but in the end, I mean, eliminated is the right word, of
Yeah.
course, but, you know, we have to give props to IDEPS now. They're probably the least expected team of these four teams to make it to the World Championship.
Exactly.
We thought it was going to be the typical three teams with the GC Busans and the Kudeta who will be making it up to the World Championship and to represent Korea, but surprisingly, IDEPS gets the better part of Kudeta to get their secure their spot in the World Championships.
Yeah, well, it's not officially announced, but just from calculating roughly, it will probably be IDEPS with the two GC Busans, because GC Busan Blue, as we constantly mention over and over, has enough fighting points. Even if they place 4th or 5th, they'll still make it to the World Champion. And GC Busan Red making it up there right now is gonna acquire enough fighting points as well. So it's probably the three teams, including IDEPS.
Definitely, we might get a confirmation from anybody that might be calculating this for us. The fighting points are definitely there, and Kudeta, look on their faces, definitely a disappointment all in all, because they have played a spectacular series, but just couldn't pull it off. Just not enough damage to really win out the Game 7 that could have gotten them the victory, but in the end, it is IDEPS. Congratulations to these guys, making it as a number 3 seed, going on to the Grand Finals week. That will happen 2 weeks later, like we keep mentioning. It is the end of semifinals, and this is the table.
Yeah, the superficial right side victory has happened again today, and like Joel is constantly mentioning, we will be coming back with the Korea finals in August 27th, Korea time, 1300. So just remember, it's not going to be next week. We will be resting next week. We will be coming back in 2 weeks, August 27th, 1300 KST.
So much hype that has been built for today's last day of semifinals. We will have a 1 week of break, which we will rightfully need, because we need to kind of chill down this hype and really get back into our old self, so we'll be better prepared for the final weeks that will happen 2 weeks later.
To be honest, it's really for the players, not for us.
I need it. I've become so hyped and so over-energized. Really need this break.
Yep, well, this is the match for August 27th, as you see on the screen. The third place match, or you can call it the third place match, or the match for who makes it up to the finals, GC Busan Blue versus IDEPS. The winner of that match will be going to be facing GC Busan Red for the finals.
And it just seems like IDEPS winning out against Kudeta, it just makes them look like a third place team. But if they beat out GC Busan Blue, they will be the second place team at least.
Yeah, during the career finals, and they will secure, if the winner of the third place match making it up into the finals, it means, even though you lose in the finals, you're second place, and you still secure a spot in the World Championships.
A rookie team that could have been second place would have secured themselves in the World Championship. So any team could have made it if they did make it to second place. But it will be IDEPS and GC Busan Blue that will clinch out their spots and fight for their second place spot that will be in the Grand Finals against GC Busan Red, who have been really, really strong from their showings of today.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm so happy that yesterday and today in the semifinal series, all 4 matches were best out of 7s, and they played full sets. I'm so happy.
And you guys saw the best Blade&Soul action from yesterday and today in the semifinals, but be back from the August 27th. On that Sunday, we'll be back for the Grand Finals on 1300 Korean Standard Time, and we'll see you back then. Be excited, have a good break, and we will see you then.